Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to this week's ArchCast with the one, the only, Stuttering Craig of Screw Attack and now Side-Scrollers fame.
Yeah, it's me. Check it out. I like my little avatar. I need to provide people with better pictures of me, I think.
I mean, hey, it's a nice HD picture. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. I need to get some nice headshots going, maybe go to Glamour Shots and get some nice headshots and send it out to everybody for whenever I appear on a podcast. Good to be hanging out with you guys.
Good to have you here.
I gotta start off too by saying that this is one of those wild moments right now, because I know we've been talking a fair bit, Craig, on Side Scrolls, etc., and on Twitter, but the idea that, because I watched your stuff like a lot back in the day, and now you're on my podcast, on my channel, like 20 years later. That's just a weird moment.
I'm old. No, yeah, it's fun, man. It's been a fun career, 18 and a half years now at this point. With a year sabbatical in there which was phenomenal to get away from all the nonsense. But yeah, man, I've had that happen a few times where people are like, I watched you when I was a kid and now you're on my show, and it's like, awesome. I love it. I think it's very, very cool. So
it is. The internet is, for all of the idiocy on the internet, it is an amazing tool, isn't it?
Yes, it's allowed me to live a really fun life, and I appreciate that. I think it's really it's interesting, man. I'll tell you this: it's being able to do. I did not grow up thinking this is what I was going to do for a living, right? And fortunately, I just kind of hopped on at the right time, So here we are, ready to roll.
It is. YouTube, again, for all of its faults, the very fact that people can actually earn a living off this is amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what, back in the day, you couldn't make a living off YouTube. It was just a place where you found like cat videos and guys getting hit in the junk, from like baseballs, right? So, when I got started, that was the thing it was 2006, February 2006 when we launched Screw Attack, and it was like, how are you going to make money? And I was like, I don't even know. And it was like, I guess we'll make money selling ads on our website, and that took about 2 weeks to learn that wasn't going to happen. So yeah, we had to get really creative with how we were going to make a living, and we got pretty fortunate. Came out at a time where there wasn't a whole lot of options, and we were kind of first out of the gate, and really, made some good partnerships, met some great people, and I think that'd be a really interesting like documentary one day, talking about like doing YouTube before YouTube existed, because that's kind of what we were doing, So it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I mean, you guys had some real quality production stuff too back in the day, especially for the era too, like. As you say, back then there was no nothing, like it didn't exist. There was no templates, there was no guide for any of this, there were no like pre-made stuff, you could just download most of it. You kind of created this thing from scratch. It's kind of amazing.
Well, it was certainly like writing a book and figuring it out on it. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, so yeah, I mean, the mindset was really simple. It's like, okay, we have these videos, and these people watch our videos, but we don't make any money from people watching our videos. As a matter of fact, we lose money, right? And when there was actually like some sort of rev share option, like the idea of you can make videos, you can post your videos, and then the people who host those videos will give you a percentage. I was like, what? And like, I mean, I'm going to say a couple platforms that people haven't thought of in 15 years. Blip.tv. Was actually the second one, but Blip is, I don't even know if Blip's around anymore. But Blip was a game changer. And even before that, it was Rever.com, and REVVE. I don't even know if that was like any sort of anything, but that was like the first website that I recall having some sort of rev share on them, to where you could post your stuff for free and they would give you a portion of their revenue. And so yeah, man, we did that, and we're making like literally dozens of dollars a month at that point. And then it was like, well, let's just, let's make some t-shirts. And that was like a cold lesson as well, because, I remember asking the audience very early on, would you buy t-shirts? Would you buy a t-shirt? Would you buy a Screw Attack or a Side Screw? I don't remember what it was, Screw Attack at the time. And I remember there was 100 people who voted. 99 of them said yes. We released the t-shirt and sold 2. It was like, oh, okay, so people will say yes on something, but won't actually follow through with it. Okay, sounds good, But there's a lot of factors in that, obviously the design of it and everything like that. But a lot of learning on the go back in the day, and just kind of figuring it out, trying things, see what happens. I mean, walking you through the career a little bit further, eventually got into doing live events. A couple of years into Screw Attack, it was like we launched SGC, which was the Screw Attack Gaming Convention, which I still have people coming up to me that are like my age now who are like, that was the best weekend of my life, which was really fun. And that grew. It started off the first year we had 1,000 people at it, and then 5 years in we had 15,000 people at it, and it was one of the bigger events in really the United States at the time. And we got into like video game development with the Angry Video Game Nerd games and several other indie titles that we published. And so, yeah, man, we did a lot back in the day. It was really, really fun just to kind of figure it out as we went along. There was no right answer. There was no wrong answer. And for the most part, like, when you don't have any guidelines, it allows you to be super creative. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that back then. And I appreciate it now. It's kind of what I'm trying to replicate here with side scrollers.
Yeah, like the story of creation on the internet is really interesting. I mean, you mentioned Blip. Like, Blip was bought out by Maker Studios, which was, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was itself, of course, also bought up by Disney.
Yep.
It's like, God, that was a weird moment. I vividly remember the first time, like, I was watching Total Biscuit talking about this, and like, yeah, we've been bought out by Disney. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So I'll tell you exactly what happened right there. Was in about 2012, 2013, there was an arms race. And it was, you had these massive corporations. Disney was one of them. Time Warner was one of them. These big companies that there was like a domino effect to where, so when I sold Screw Attack, that was in 2013, I believe, sold that to a company called Fullscreen. And Fullscreen then got acquired by AT&T Time Warner, or whatever it was called at the time. Now it's Warner Brothers Discovery, right? So what happened was these large companies were like, oh, this internet thing's really big. It's a big deal. We should, we got to get in with all these internet people. This is the future. So they went and they more or less bought these giant talent agencies, which is what Fullscreen was, which is what Maker was. And there was this huge influx of money that happened that was going to go into production. And here's the next step and blah, 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 blah. And that's where like Rooster Teeth got acquired as well. And so Rooster Teeth got acquired by Fullscreen, and all this money got pumped into it. And since we were acquired by Fullscreen as well, that's how Screw Attack became a brand on Rooster Teeth. And it was amazing because you sell your company. And I remember having this conversation after I sold Screw Attack. I remember having this conversation with Ezra Cooperstein. Ezra Cooperstein was the head of Maker Studios. Funny you mentioned that at the time. And he actually still works with another company. I think that's called like Midnight or something. But like, I remember getting acquired and being like, okay, now what? And they're like, I don't know. Like, it was one of those, like, you don't know what you want to do with our company. You just bought our company and you have no idea what you want to do with it. And they're like, well, we'll just figure it out. And it's like, what? That's not how this works. So it was nuts. It was definitely a crazy time. It was already a decade ago at this point. So, yeah, I mean, I have all these crazy stories from internet back in the day and how things have changed. And it's definitely been crazy to see it from literally the beginning to where it is now.
I always love hearing about like the internet back in the day because I am on the younger side. I am going to be 28 tomorrow. So that gives you, an idea of where my mind probably was in like 2006, not giving a shit about really anything because what is life anyway. But what I remember is watching a ton of videos on like what was it? What was the website called? It was stupidvideos.com. That's where I always was instead of YouTube because that's where my uncle always, decided to show me things from the scary maze game to, those stupid jump scare videos because, he loves me, I guess.
I love it. I love it. That's like, and that's the type of domain that you would have. It was like watchthisvideo.com, or funnyvideos.com or whatever it may be. I love it. I love everything about that. And happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And we will be
Right now,
raiding
I feel
into Lumi's birthday stream after we're done today, chat.
Yep, I'm going to be doing a 12 plus hours stream, either 12 hours or until I pass out at my computer, whichever happens last.
Love it. Love it. Those 12-hour streams, man, those marathons, going back in the day, right? You talking about all that stuff. Like I said, we would just kind of do those things. There was no template for how to do them. So I remember we did a 24-hour stream for our 4th or 5th birthday back at Screw Attack, and nobody's making any money. There was no super chats. There was no direct donation link or anything like that. Like when we live stream, it was literally just live streaming to live stream. There was no way to monetize at all, which is amazing. Like when you go back and be like, man, we wasted so many man hours live streaming and not making a single cent off it. It was crazy.
It's like even before I was like monetized on Twitch, and I just recently got monetized on YouTube thanks to Mr. Arch over here. But like I genuinely love streaming. When I was gone for a week and a half, I missed just like the community. I missed ArchCast last week. I was upset because everything happened while I was gone. And I'm just like, wow, I genuinely enjoy this. I want to be able to, put more time into eventually doing scripted content and everything. But between parenthood and a full-time job, it's really hard to do, which is why I want to try to put my all into at least live streaming until I can, go down to a part-time job. So I still have that, income coming in.
Yeah, I hear you. It's tough. It's tough kind of taking that next step along the way. And there's always risk associated with it and stuff. And, I just know for me personally, I feel extremely lucky to have been able to do this for, the better, like pretty much my entire adult life. And I realize that most people's careers do not have the trajectory that mine has, and or at least the longevity. And I feel very, very lucky to be doing it still at 43. So.
I mean, hey, you got that shit down, and like definitely.
We're getting some bleed through from, I think, your microphone, Greg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is it? Probably
I can
mine.
hear two
Testing,
Lumis.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I think we're good now. I mean, 2 Lumis is better than 1 Lumi. Granted, my boyfriend would probably say otherwise after some dairy consumption, but it's neither here nor there. Anyways.
Well, I will. I'll mute myself when I shut up. How's that? And that way we don't get any Craigs or Lumis, so it'll be great.
But it's like I didn't watch your podcast from back in the day, but like I said before, I recently started watching side scrollers, and between you, Blabs, and like all the guests that you have on, it's genuine entertainment that I can listen to for hours. And if there's some topics that I missed out on from previous episodes, I will just listen to it for the majority of my work shift. Not many people have that type of charisma to keep people coming back. And even though, like, you're a little older than I am and stuff, but you still talk about a lot of things that I am highly interested in. And a lot of people my age, unfortunately, don't have, either the same type of, mindset in terms of like what they find interesting, what's okay, what's not okay, because, politics, sensitivity, whatever. I really don't give a shit. But I appreciate the work you do, and I'm happy that I'm able to chat with you even for a little bit here on ArchCast.
Hell yeah, love that. Well, Yeah, I feel like we got a pretty good thing rolling here, and it really just comes down to the audience. It always comes back to the audience. The audience is always the third, fourth, or fifth person in the chair. So it's always great to have that interaction every day, and that's kind of how we look at it. With the show. So Blabs has done such a great job being a producer. I can't speak highly enough of her. She comes in prepared every day, and that's really all you can ask. And we have great guests like Arch on, and the rotating cast has been really, really good. So. Yeah, it's been really, really fun. Really, really fun for sure. And thank you very much for the kind words.
And speaking of streamers, now that Trump has his Twitch account back.
Let's go. Hey, that's called a segue, folks. Look at that. What a stud.
I know, absolutely perfect. We need to ask Trump for a collab sometime.
I would watch a Donald Trump gameplay live stream. I would. He could play that game where you save Trump from being assassinated. That one.
Oh, is there a game like that?
Oh, there is. There is.
What is it called?
I have no idea.
Is it on Steam?
Oh, let me see. Yeah, it's on Steam. Hold on.
I remember it was a meme game like 6-7 years ago, and everybody was like, they're going to try and assassinate Trump. Well, yeah, but later than you'd expect.
Oh, okay. I thought that, I'm sorry. I thought somebody had released it in the last week. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
It's just called Mr. President, and he saved President Rump from being assassinated.
I'm opening Steam right now to check out Mr. President. That's outstanding. I'm sorry. Yes. So Trump has been allowed to stream now on Twitch, huh?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, it's about time. It's only took 4 years for them to realize that they're idiots.
I think, to be honest, if he decided to go live on Twitch, as soon as he opens his mouth, it would be enough mass reporting to the automated system to just ban him again.
Oh, I am sure that the people at Twitch are just seething right now. I mean, that's something you got to keep in mind. We're talking about the epicenter of the insanity of the world. We're talking about San Francisco, California. That's where their home office is. And I've spent a lot of time in San Francisco, specifically in the Twitch offices. And let me tell you something. That place is the most unnecessary office ever. And these people have no idea what it's like to live in or work in a real space. It's like generic cush tech bro job where, and I'm not kidding when I say this, they have a room dedicated to giving massages.
I don't doubt it. I do not doubt it.
Yes.
Is it like the Google offices? Like, remember the TikToks? I was like, oh, a day in the life of a Google worker. And it's like, there's a champagne dispenser. There's like meditation rooms. There's pickleball in there. I'm like, what the fuck?
I didn't see pickleball, but I'll tell you this: pickleball takes up too much real estate, when it comes to San Francisco space. But I'll tell you this: it's it is so not realistic, not even close to realistic to what life is. And these people who are running and making Twitch happen, I mean, the vast majority of them, at least from my interactions with them, have no idea what a real hard day's work is.
Oh yeah, like this was a whole thing that started going viral a couple of years ago, with people filming their day at work at tech companies, and it is just adult daycare. That was the term invented for it, adult daycare.
Oh, sure.
And looking at Twitter, you can see it. Like, Elon Musk stepped into Twitter, slashed the working pool, and Twitter continued to chug along to the point where it actually survived, the big screw up the last couple of days. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of people who don't actually have a job at these companies.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in what you just said. The idea that they have jobs, but when you ask them what they do, they don't really know. And if you were to ask their boss what they do, they can't give you a straight answer. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm a community manager. Okay, well, what does a community manager do? And they're like, well, I manage the community. It's like, oh, cool. What do you do when you manage the community? Well, I take the community and I manage them. It's like, oh, okay, So that's a yes. You're 100% right.
A day in my
It's
Like,
like a lot of those jobs seem like it was friends hiring friends, and oh my god, I can get you a nice secure job. You don't have to lift a finger, and then they get paid six fucking figures. I'm like, why though?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I had a buddy I had a friend who worked for me back at Screw Attack who he had a job offer. Like we didn't make any money at Screw Attack at all, and I think I made like $30,000 a year, like $35,000 a year for like a decade. Right? It was all like just put back in the money, put back in the. It was more like just paying everybody to work there so they could have a job, right? But they so this person, it was Destin Legary. I'll tell you that right now. Destin is like one of the top 3 people at IGN right now, right? And Destin's like, hey, so I got this job offer, and it's in San Francisco, and they're going to pay me $60,000 a year. And I was like, Destin, that's great. Here's the problem. $60,000 a year in San Francisco is like $20,000 a year in Texas. And he's like, it's too much money. I gotta take it. And I was like, okay. And so Destin left, and he went to go work for this company, and he ended up leaving that company. And he's obviously doing great right now. And but he's it was just one of those things where it's like the money is not a one-to-one thing on either side of it. So yeah, it's nuts. You're right. The idea of like everybody has to make 6 figures out there just to have a living wage, and that's the craziest thing about California. It's almost disgusting.
You couldn't pay me to go visit California. I did once for family. I looked at the gas prices and then I said never again. Because at that time the gas prices over where I am was only about $2.30 a gallon. Over there in California it was like $5.60, and I'm just like, no.
and even these companies are starting to kind of realize this because the whole Trump unbanning thing is an interesting topic because this comes after earlier this year, they laid off 500 people. And my first immediate reaction is, how the hell do you employ 500 people at a video sharing site? What work is there for 500 people? Like, okay, janitors, I guess, maintenance staff, I suppose, some technicians to run the server room and run some code, but I mean, shit, Twitch is barely updated. None of these sites are updated. Like when YouTube updates something, like, hey, we changed your backend. What did you do now? We made this button round. Oh, thank you.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of community managers. There's a lot of community managers at Twitch. Well, not anymore, but you're right. And I remember seeing that story as well, the 500 employees, and being like, you serious? Like there's 500 people there that work there? Like that's the beauty. And going back to what you're saying about Elon Musk, that's the beauty of Elon Musk, was that he was like, yeah, I'm just going to fire everybody. And if they're good, they'll come back. I'll hire them back and whatever. And you can get rid of 80% of your staff and it still functions just fine. So it really, goes back into like, what were these people doing? No, they're making TikToks. That's what they're doing. They're telling everybody about how great their life was. Oh, how's that going for you now? So
Yeah.
it was a nice back to reality moment.
And it's like, of those 500 people, wasn't it like the Twitch what is it called? Like their safety team or whatever, but they just pushed that work onto the Twitch ambassadors, which I didn't know until I was looking more into it. But Twitch ambassadors get paid $21 an hour on top of what they get paid, like, streaming on Twitch and all that. And I'm just like, that's how much I make at my real job. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot. Yep. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not real life over there in San Francisco. And those big tech bro company jobs, like, it's not real. My brother has been working in that industry for pretty much his entire life. And he's just bounced around from company to company, and they're all the same. They're all the same. And, to go back to this, the idea that, like, when we were acquired, I remember going to LA, that's where Fullscreen was officed. And I remember going in and being like, you get snacks? Like, like, I was so stoked to get, like, free pretzels. It's like, wow. And, like, drinks on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, at these places, it's not even. They have like chefs come in and everything's catered. It's like what? Not even close to real. It's crazy.
And also, a public service announcement. Yes, chat, Rumble has decided to poop itself today. Rumble is a weird platform on occasion. It works 98% of the time, but not today.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because for Rumble to take the next step, they can't ever go down. Like, they go down too often. And for them to be taken seriously, two things need to happen. Number one, they can't ever go down. Two, they need to be a place where you can find how to fix your engine in your car, right? It needs to be more than just what it is right now. It needs to be a destination for education. And that's the next step for them if they're really going to be taken seriously.
I think my one problem with Rumble is that, I like ease because I'm a little stupid when it comes to figuring out tech stuff. It took me 3 years to figure out how to do on-screen alerts for followers and stuff. But why do you need a new stream key every time you stream on Rumble? I don't like that. That's why I don't stream there.
Yeah, they do have
3 years, Lumi. I still haven't done it.
They do have a static key option, but it's not ideal. There's a lot of products that Rumble is rolling out, like their Rumble Studio, that are good, but they're not great. And I think that's the thing with Rumble right now is there's a lot of, okay, that's fun. It's kind of like when your kid comes up and they have this like scribbled artwork that's like a rainbow or something. You're like, that's great, honey. That's kind of how I feel with like Rumble right now. I'm a big believer in Rumble, but I think they have 15 years of tech that they have to catch up on. And I know the guy who is like their head tech guy, and they don't have the will, they don't have the manpower or the funds to get there. Like it's tough.
Yep. And I gotta shout this one out too from Sandoom for $50. Thank you very much, sir. To say, Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Savior, and his pet Latina fish Lumi. Big dono for the special guest Crag. Met you at RTX 2019, and he was super cool to me when chatting. Thanks for having Arch on Side Scrolls and for coming on the ArchCast.
Dude, of course. And I try to be awesome to everybody because at the end of the day, man, we're all just normal men. It goes back to that. At the end of the day, we're just dudes. We all like video games. We all like entertainment. We like movies. We like, I'm not mean to people unless you give me a reason to be mean to you. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I try to avoid as much beef as I possibly can. I probably more than anybody else like to be left alone online. I don't know what everybody else does. I don't follow I follow people on X, but I don't watch what they're doing. Like we had Dev on a couple days ago, and there was some brouhaha. People were upset at Short Fat Otaku Dev about some things he said that were really stupid after the Trump stuff. And we had him on, and he apologized and stuff. And it was okay, cool. He said he was sorry. He said he felt horrible. He never should have said it. And it goes on and on and on. And some people are like, Then I was like, well, did you see what happened afterwards? And I'm like, no, I didn't, because I don't stalk people online. I don't really care about what Dev did afterwards. And I don't, I love you, Arch, but I don't follow everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, right? So, yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
Stalking people is cringe and gay.
See, I'm luckily not used to being famous yet, and I don't leave my house often enough. But every time I'm recognized, I'm just confused. Like, what do you mean you know who I am? And it's happened on the street now in Norway, and that is confusing to me. Like, how?
Oh, that is horrifying. See, again, this is why I'm an anime mermaid on the internet. It's like, if they recognize my voice, I can still say, I don't know what that is. Sorry. I'm not like the other VTubers who are like, oh my god, here's my face. I'm like, please don't show your face.
The weirdest place I was ever recognized was, when you go to conventions and stuff, it's kind of like you're in your element, right? You're around your people. And that's natural, right? But the weirdest place I was ever recognized was at a Walgreens, which is like a drug shop. Like it's a place where you go and you get your, whatever you need for your day-to-day basis, but also it's like a pharmacy, right? And I remember just like walking down the aisle and being like, this guy like, Craig? And I was like, huh? I was like, what? And it was like, at the time, my parents lived like right next to it. So I was like, whoa, this is getting a little too weird for me. So, and I very much like it. You see these guys that are going around like, the iShowSpeed and that Kai guy who like they're getting mobbed everywhere they go. They're traveling around the world and they have mobs. It's like a little too much, a little too much. I don't have a whole lot of interest in what's going on with that. Like if I get, if somebody comes like, hey man, I like what you do. Cool. Love it. I'll always take time for people because, obviously they allow me to do what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'll never not say no to a conversation. But I could never wrap my head around like the amount of ridiculously stupid fame that they have, that these guys have, the iShowSpeed and the Kai guys. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine like having the amount of fans like iShowSpeed has, Markiplier, all of them, because like the fan meetups are insane, and I know that us, like some bigger personalities like to go to conventions, but they have to go like essentially in a disguise so people don't like hound them or like make a huge mob of, oh my god, look, it's you, oh my god, can I get a picture? And it's almost sad at that point that you can't just live a normal life because people are always not necessarily wanting something from you but still wanting that attention.
Yeah, I think people go, well, that's what you signed up for. And it's like, I've been doing this for a long time, I get it, right? But I feel most sorry for your teenager kid who popped off and saw tremendous success and is like, what is happening to my life? Because it does happen overnight for a lot of kids, and they get extremely popular really fast. Like you look at that kid. Who was the kid who like in the last week he played like in Madden football or something, and then there was something. I think he's 20 now, but when he was 18, he was like sucking some guy's D for OnlyFans. Remember that? Like, the story a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah, Sketch was his name. Yeah, Sketch. I think that was it. And he was like, "Yep, I did it." But like that's one of those things where 2 years ago, he's doing that for some money, and now he's pretty well off. And it's like, well, how quickly the tables have turned, and he didn't ask for that. So it was. I'm fortunate enough to where you'll never be able to find anything like that in my past.
The internet is forever. One should be
Yes,
very
it is.
careful what one does on it. Oh, speaking of desperate pleas for popularity, another brilliant segue. As I'm sure you've heard a little bit about Warner Brothers' Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They introduced female Mr. Freeze, Mrs. Freeze, and they have now announced that she is a lesbian.
Well, naturally. I mean, why would she not be, Arch? Because, it's 2024.
It is, but it's such a... I don't know, like, on the one hand, it's so naturally obvious, and at the same time, it's like, oh, of course. It's like, why?
You're right. And why? The answer is because people they're in their company. I've thought about this quite thoroughly, really. What it comes down to is at some point, somebody who was mentally ill was working somewhere, and their boss said something to them, and they scared their boss with some sort of like discrimination something. Or you don't value me, or you don't care about me, or they said that to a friend. Somewhere along the line, there was a crack in society, right? And you don't know where that started, but it was somewhere. And it was like, well, don't you think, aren't you my friend, or aren't whatever? And there was some sort of intellectual or emotional terrorism that was happening at that point. You know, aren't you my friend? Don't you care about me? And a true friend would have been like, yeah, well, let me help you, you crazy loony, instead of like embracing what they're talking about, right? And then that kind of made its way into companies, and that's how you have Suicide Squad just totally pooping the bed with like 300 players playing it, and female Mrs. Freeze lesbian lady. Like it's weird how that slope gets there, man. It started with one person at one time, and there we are.
Yep, as now just everyone's weird, and everyone creates weird things, which is why, like DC, they recently announced that they were like rebooting their universe, because DC's been doing the whole multiverse thing and loads of interconnected stories, and some of it's actually good. Like the DC animated universe has been running more or less consistently since the 80s, which is both really cool and really weird at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've announced a like reboot recreation thing bob, which they're being unclear about, called the Absolute Universe, and it's more dark superheroes. It's tattooed Wonder Woman riding a death's head horse. That's quite the leap from the invisible plane. Superman is of course dark and brooding, and Batman has gotten himself bat swords.
Of course. Yeah, man. When things are going well, or you can tell things are going well when they need to reboot every character they have. Just saying, probably not a good thing.
It's like what I was saying earlier. They already have the dark universe, and I'm not sure how much of that they covered in like different media besides the comics. But if they haven't like animated it or like done anything interesting outside of comics, they still have plenty of material to work with.
Well, it's all there, and you know what? I guarantee they're gonna ruin it.
I mean, they might pull a Disney
simple
with the whole expanded universe with like Star Wars making the books not canon anymore, then taking the ideas from the books and saying, "Oh, we came up with this ourselves, guys." It's like, no.
Yeah, and it's doubling down on failure. Like, nobody wants another grim, dark DC. We've been getting that for the last 11 odd years. Everybody is chomping at the bits for something not grim, dark DC. And at this point, it's gotta be incompetence. It has to be a degree of incompetence in amongst all the malice on top of it all.
I think you nailed it. I think it's just strictly incompetence. You know, I don't think I do think that there's a level of agenda being pushed in this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, I also think that people are just really bad at their jobs. Like as these companies grow, they're like, we need to bring in more people. More voices is good, diversity, and more people to have for middle management. And it's like, okay, cool, yeah, awesome. What are the qualifications? Do they love the source material? Do they care about what, you know? And the answer most of the time is, you know, they have very little experience. And that's, here you go. Just, it's more about ignorance than anything else. Ignorance and inability to do a good job.
Yeah. When you hire based on people's political compass, that is what you get.
I don't think people even like superheroes anymore at this point, because we have just been ham-fisted with so much superhero bull crap in the past like 15 years. It's insane. Because even with like, you know, I'm sorry to bring up The Boys, but The Boys in that trash fire that was the 4th season, it's like no one cares anymore. No one cares about dark superheroes because people are doing it so fucking wrong. It's like in the comics, it was like, you know, a look at corporatized superheroes and how bad that can go, and then them going into an entire coup. And then we got the show where it's like, you know, sex, drugs, gore, bad writing. It's like people are going to have enough of it, and until theaters and everything start losing absolutely all, like not theaters, but companies losing just a ton of money from no one caring anymore, nothing is going to change.
Speak with your wallet. Been saying that for a long time. Speak with your wallet.
And, well, you hope that you have a wallet for long enough to speak with it, as the incompetence has now really also hit the real world. This was the big news a couple days ago, where a bunch of computers started crashing all across the Earth.
This is crazy. Like, everything about this is nuts. The idea that number one, the idea that most of major corporations, you're talking hospitals, you're talking airlines, like these are major corporations in very developed countries, right, that are all reliant on the same software. And that doesn't tell you how close we are to just, you know, this is a big deal, but still, it was, I mean, we're going to see the long-lasting effects on this for a long time, but this is just a primer for what could potentially happen down the line. And I think that's the scariest thing about this.
Yep. And it was apparently caused by just a dumbass programming error that they didn't check. So first, there must have been someone who didn't know what they were doing, and I have no idea about programming, but I'll take this guy's word for it, that they created a line of code that was referencing literally an impossible region of memory. So the computer couldn't get to it because it literally does not exist, and so Windows crashes itself. And this is what locked all of the computers. It should have been checked. It should have been caught upon writing. It definitely should have been caught in software checks before release. And yet it was pushed out, and it affected a ridiculous amount of computers, like hospitals, airports, prisons. Because some tard didn't control F, like, problem search through his document.
So eloquently put, as always, Arch.
And man, like,
Yeah.
I remember in the 2000s when people, the millennial bug will break all of our computers, and that didn't happen. Yeah. But we are there now, where somebody can add in a single zero in the wrong place and be dumb enough to not check it, and the company be dumb enough to not check it, and it will affect everything.
Well, this was definitely more Y2K than anything that's ever been, anything that happened at Y2K, at least as far as I know. I mean, there was, Y2K came and went real easy, real quick. And here we are, 24 years later, and to see this happen, and to see actually, there's actually a big effect. Like I said, you have hospitals that can't do scans. You got airlines that are still just, airports that are just, you can't rent a car. You can't buy, you got people just stranded wherever they were at as of yesterday. And that's, wow. It really makes things apparent how fragile we are.
And again, this was an era.
Yeah. And Russia was laughing at us because all their systems are run off of Linux.
Well,
right.
The worst part is, too, there was the joke, but it turned out, as far as we can tell, to be true, that one airline company was actually unaffected because it ran Windows 3.1 systems still, which, for reference, in case there are any children out there, I believe is the first version of Windows with network capabilities.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's my boy. That's my boys over there. That's Herb's company. Herb Keller. I think Kellerman. Is Herb Keller. That's Southwest Airlines, which is based out of Dallas. Their hub is out of Dallas, and man, Southwest Airlines. Let's go. Let's go with it. Hey, when people say it was better to be in the 90s, this is a great example, right? Straight up.
Well, it's one of those dumb things. So the family company deals with automation and robotics. And we tried so hard to hang on to our computers running Windows XP for years. We've still got XP computers up there because they just work better, more reliably than modern operating systems. And you literally can't even purchase Windows XP anymore.
It's awesome. I love it. I love everything about this story. It's so freaking funny. Until it affects me, it's funny.
Well, there's the awful part. So this was an error. This was somebody who probably shouldn't have been given this job, who did a dumb. Imagine if somebody would do this on purpose. Like the damage that could be done from just an update being forced out. You don't get a choice to update it or not. It auto-downloads and runs onto your computer. Like, modern-day PCs are practically virus dispensers, if only somebody can get to the source of one of the commonly used programs. Like, imagine if somebody managed to introduce a piece of malware into a Microsoft update.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, it's just very, especially coming off, we had a story on Side Scrollers yesterday. We were talking about it, going back to earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. Maybe it was, I think it was maybe 2022 or whatever it was. It was coming out of the pandemic, where the WEF is like, look, hey, there's going to be a cyber, I think they called it a cyber pandemic. And it's like, well, first off, we're just making up terms at this point. The idea of a cyber pandemic, but this is, I'm going to put on my conspiracy hat here. It's all part of the plan, baby. It's all part of the plan.
You sound like my manager at work.
They're coming for us.
But like,
No
the
shame.
chat is mentioning it also. Like, imagine if this was malicious. Like, God.
Yep.
The fact that this large of a scale was from a oopsie daisy, I couldn't even fucking imagine it, because it was what, 20% of the world's technology that was running off of Windows was down. And that's still a huge amount, even though it was only 20%. And I am happy that Kiddo was out of the hospital before this shit happened.
1000%. Can you imagine being in the hospital when all this stuff was going on, and then it's like, hey, we lost your charts, we lost your data. It's like, oh God, can't even fathom it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
The nightmare scenarios here too. Like, imagine we're probably gonna have an argument with China over the next decade or so. Imagine if there's a sleeper agent, like full conspiracy theory, working in Google, for example, and it's just a sliver of code, and every Google Chrome browser just downloads a little software and runs it on your computer, locks it out, and bricks the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's possible because of how much of our labor we get from other countries, because they don't want to pay Americans a decent wage unless you're, on Twitch. That's about it.
That's right. You got to work at Twitch or YouTube to make a good living.
Oh, and chat mentioning banks too. Oh yeah, that. Now, I'm pretty sure banks, I hope banks have their own systems, because all of our money these days, ones and zeros on a software somewhere.
I feel like we could all just do a straight office space, and just, if we can find a way to scam everybody out of fractions of a cent every day, we can go live on a beach like the people from Office Space. Anyway, yeah, you're right. It's all just data at this point.
There was
Start shoving cash into a mattress like the good old days.
Oh man, let's go.
Let's see if I can find it. There was a ridiculous story from a few years ago, just to illustrate like how much paperwork these big companies get. Here we go. Yeah, if I can find a decent one here. There was a guy who was sending fake invoices to Google and Facebook. So he made an invoice and just sent it to them, and they just paid it, because they get so many that nobody checks this shit. Nobody doubles checks. Like, oh hey, did we actually like buy this service? Like, it's an entirely different department, bro. I don't know.
So wait, did he get in jail or something? Did he get in trouble?
Oh yeah, he tried to get $100 million out of them in total.
Okay, of course he's Lithuanian and had banks in Latvia and Cyprus.
Hey, I'm just gonna tell you this right now, man. Like, is that really a crime? Is it really a scam if you just send an invoice and they pay it? I mean, really? Like, what's the issue? The idea, like, he said, hey, here's the invoice. For what? I don't know.
Services.
Like, yeah, services. So here we are.
It's a crime against businesses. It's not a crime against stupid people. Because remember how many grannies still get scammed from the Indian prince that really needs to, needs access to your bank account or whatever.
Right. Just saying, like, I don't understand how that is a crime when you, like, if I put my hand out and I was standing outside, right? And let's say I'm standing outside Chipotle, right? And somebody from Chipotle, which Arch, do you know what Chipotle is?
No, but I'm assuming it's something to do with Mexico.
It's a restaurant. Okay, you're standing outside a restaurant. You're like panhandling, right? And somebody gives me money, right? Like, if I say, "Hey, can I have some money?" and they give me money, it's called panhandling. It happens every day, right? The only difference is that those are personal transactions, and what this guy did is a business transaction. Like, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Like, I don't know. I think this guy should be hired by them more than anything else. He shouldn't be put in jail. Ridiculous.
I think they'll probably hire him after a little bit because that's how the feds get most of the people who build their infrastructures is hackers.
Oh, this guy didn't even hack anything. He just literally sent them an email like, hey, pay me.
Yeah.
I love that. I do.
I'm sure he could probably sell ice to an Eskimo if he managed to do that.
The thing is, too, though, like, you mentioned stuff like the telephone scams, right? And the worst part about it, it's so low tech, it's so dumb, it's so stupid. Like, I actually got one of these myself. A dude calls me on my phone, and I hear this heavy Indian accent, the most stereotypical thing you can imagine. Hello, I am from Microsoft. Like, how are you now? Yes, I need access to your computer.
That's awesome. It's so good.
But the thing is, if you call some 70-year-old who maybe doesn't even have a computer, it's like, hey, ma'am, somebody's breaking into your bank account. Like, oh no, how can I stop it? Well, I just need that little number on your card there.
It's so sad though, because it's like my granny is, at least smart because she used to do taxes for some large companies. My mother, not so much. She would fall for that shit, hook, line, and motherfucking sinker. It's like I had to tell my dad that, no, Dad, that's an email scam. Don't open that link. And he's like, but it says it's important. I'm like, Dad, delete it.
It's hard for people who haven't grown up with this stuff, and that's the reality of it, is that it's these people who have never experienced it. They don't know. So yeah. But I gotta be honest. I don't understand I'm looking at this guy here and I'm thinking like, hey, what did he do wrong? He just sent him an invoice. It's not a fake invoice. It's a real invoice. How's it a fake invoice? Like, they paid it. It's clearly real. I don't know if you're dumb enough to get scammed out of it. There's so many layers to this, because at a certain point, like, he's looking for $100 million, right? Why don't you just stop at, like, I don't know, 10? Like, you probably at a certain point should stop. Be like, well, I made it to 10. I can live comfortably for the rest of my life, and I have generational wealth now. Congratulations. Nope, let's get to 100.
I think it's the same mindset as, like, people who gamble. It's like, oh, well, I already won this much. What if I just do one more and then they lose everything?
Oh, yeah. Because I can guarantee you, when he thought of this, he didn't think it would work. Like, he sent off an invoice for maybe $1,000 or something. It's like, this will not work. And then it's paid. It's like, oh my God.
What? Yeah, I know.
I could keep doing this.
Well, you know, I see people saying like fraud is fraud. It's fraud. Okay. It's still dumb. Like whether it's fraud or not, like I'm just saying, like the guy sent an invoice, they paid it. Who's the dummy? You know, like clearly they are.
Well, he should have just taken, like, when he hits like 1 million, okay, just uproot, move to like the Dominican Republic or something, keep sending invoices. I imagine you could run a profitable business doing like this. Go to a country with no extradition treaties and just start sending invoices and make it for like $1,000. Nothing ridiculous. I bet you a surprising number of those will actually end up getting paid.
Man, what an interesting idea for a video. Hey, will I commit fraud? It's like how many invoice does it take to commit fraud before I get caught? Next Mr. Beast video coming soon. It's ridiculous.
Oh, another good segue opportunity there for fraud. Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
This story, man.
I love the story.
Yeah, fire away.
I haven't even been covering it much because it's too good to talk about. It's like, normally you've got a story, maybe you get 1 or 2 updates, you know, then it's kind of done. This one has just been beat for beat for beat to the point where now the entire character is made up by a dude who invented this out of whole cloth, who has now disappeared off the internet. Like, it's a movie plot.
Yeah, you're right, man. And on top of this, like, where is the gaming media condoning, like, not condone, like, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not condoning, but the opposite of that. But
Condemning?
Condemning, yes, sir. Sorry, it's Saturday, and I'm Craig. But yeah, where's the gaming media that was like, oh, this is so big? Like, it turns out this whole guy's just a giant fraud. Of course he is. Of course he's a fraud.
Yep. Now, there were rumors going around that he'd been fired from his job at a university. I think that was proven to not be true from last I saw. But I think he was put under review, so they're going to have to look into his work and see if he actually has some sort of evidence for these claims that he popularized, that Assassin's Creed is now making a game about. A game that is now making its way into the Japanese like administration, like the actual government is beginning to talk about this. At the moment, it's at a low level, and it might get brought up, and I think it's the Diet over there. Basically, they might bring this shit up to the equivalent of a Senate hearing, which is wild.
I mean, hey, at what point does Ubisoft go, yeah, maybe we'll just change it to some awesome Asian character? Like, at what point do they go, okay, yeah, let's go make the change?
I mean, that's a good question, isn't it? Because I don't know if you remember this. This happened like 10 years ago, so it is ancient, but Sony cancelled a movie called The Interview, which was supposed to be a comedy about Kim Jong-un, the North Korean dictator.
Mm-hmm.
And they got hit by a hacking attack, which, amongst other things, alleged that North Korea would like start bombing theaters showing the movie, like full-on crazy.
Yep.
And Sony decided to pull the plug. It's like, okay, we're not going to be responsible for any theater bombings. Like, okay, Sony, you know what? Fair enough. A bit cowardly, but fair enough.
I thought The Interview came out.
Yeah, it did come out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I think it was released later.
It came out in 2014, distributed by Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen it, and it's fine, but it's one of those things where it's like there was a lot more anxiety around the movie than the movie deserved, you know. So,
I mean, you know, anything that goes against the great and powerful leader, would probably have any crazy North Koreans that somehow managed to go out and about be a little bit stir crazy, I guess.
Yep. And this is what position Ubisoft must be in right now? Like, surely there must be daily brass leadings at Ubisoft right now. Just every day they just open the internet and go like, oh God, what new horror has been released upon us today?
Wouldn't that be just the most? I mean, that'd probably be the most fascinating story of the year if Ubisoft comes out and is like, so about that, we're just gonna change the character. And it's gonna be Asian now, and like that'd be amazing.
I don't think they'd be able to change it since isn't it supposed to release like later this year?
I don't know.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see.
Well, I think that the promotion behind it's been pretty heavy, and whether or not, I mean, I don't think you. I mean, I was gonna say I don't think you can release it, but I mean you can, but I think this game's gonna bomb. When you look at what's happening in this game and the literally the potentially world events that's happening around this game, like they have an opportunity to kind of correct things, not just with the gaming audience, but with an entire nation of people. And just be like, yeah, and I think if they were to take a step back and make those changes, I think it would be seen as a win. I really do. If they were to say, hey, we're dumb. We were dumb. Sorry, we made a mistake, and we didn't mean to offend everybody. So we're gonna make this change, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't see any path to this game being a tremendous success.
I mean, we can't forget about the most important part about the game, which is going to be the romance options.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, there was actually one of those released the other day too, with Assassin's Creed was always going to be queer.
Yep.
See, this is the problem. This is the big problem here, because Ubisoft is now in an unwinnable position. If they release the game as is, they might actually face censorship from a literal goddamn government. But if they do change it, if they take out Yasuke now, oh god, a unified gaming media will scream racist at the top of their voices.
Of course. I mean, why? It's spectacular, really. Like how. By the way, the gaming media has been very, very silent the past week or so. They've done a very good job of keeping their opinions to themselves the last week or so after all the chaos. But yes, you are correct. They would and scream. And by the way, this gaming media, they're based in San Francisco. They're based in LA. They're based in New York, right? These are the bubbles that we talk about, right? I kind of memed out the idea that I was going to get hired for the Kotaku editor-in-chief, right? And I did apply for it. Now, have I heard from him? No. Will I hear from him? No. Did I expect to hear from him? Absolutely not. With that said, like the idea that they're paying $180,000 for their editor-in-chief at Kotaku is just fascinating to me. Like I said, that's not real life. It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, I will also say, though, they have been surprisingly quiet. Like, the broader left, a lot of the cultural commentators, a lot of the gaming media, they actually managed to recognize the assassination attempt for what it was and just shut up. Most of them understood that this was not a moment to open one's mouths. With a handful of exceptions here and there, Destiny most famous amongst them. But
yeah. Thrown right back in his face. What an idiot.
Oh, yeah. But, like, we are in such a... Not even divisive time right now. We are in such a confrontational time that you can get in a position from which there is actually literally no winning. And that's where Ubisoft is. No decision they can make right now is the right decision. Like, they are actually 100% painted into a corner.
Well, that's why it's going to be interesting to see what they do here in the next week, month, whatever it may be. I mean, when you have a nation that's turning on you, a nation of your customers, by the way, that's really fascinating to see. So yes, they this poor French company over here, doing what they do to piss off an entire nation and their customer base is really great.
Oh yeah, imagine the review bomb this is gonna get. Like, we talked about DEI detected on this channel before, right? I think they hit like 400,000 followers on Steam the other day. That's nearly 500,000 people that are turned off by your game before they've even seen any piece of marketing. Like, you've turned off 500,000 potential customers before you even get to open your mouth. That is terrible. And now it's not even 500,000 people. You're looking at censorship from a nation. Like, how can a company continue like that?
Well, to further it home, those 400,000 people, let's just say I've talked about this on the show several times, but if you have 400,000 people who are not going to buy your show, are not going to buy your game at all, right? Let's say your game's $60. That's $24 million worth of revenue that you're just saying nope to.
Yep.
Like wow, $24 million. That is just absolutely insane. And to kind of scale that even further, let's just say you make a smaller game that's like $20, right? That's still $8 million worth of potential revenue. That's life-changing revenue that you don't get simply by being on the list of DEI detected, simply for doubling down on the message.
Yep. And it's like another thing that is interesting about Assassin's Creed Shadows is I was watching this one Japanese YouTuber explaining why Ubisoft is being extremely racist, not just towards Japanese people, but even just towards Yasuke as a character, because they're just putting him there simply because he is black. That is it. He is a black man. He gets this spot. And it's like, it's kind of disrespecting Yasuke in a way as well. And it also doesn't help that in the Japanese exclusive trailer that they got, apparently the subtitles were in Chinese.
Spectacular. That's spectacular. That's the first I've heard of that. That's outstanding.
That's a really great way to get the Japanese audience on your side right there.
Oh, that's great.
I can't see this game doing well. I can't imagine it. The sheer quantity of negative PR, because like back in the day, you used to say like there's no such thing as bad PR, but getting PR isn't the problem for Ubisoft. Ubisoft doesn't have a hard time getting people to know about their game. They actually need to sell their game now. And this is not selling the game in any stretch.
No. Like I said, this game is DOA, man. This game is DED, dead. What's the old DEI? Actually, well, I mean, you heard this actually from folks this past week. DEI means DIE, and that's what you have with this game for sure.
Yep. And other happy news this week is also that Halo, the TV show, died. I'm very pleased by this.
Yeah? You a big Halo fan?
No, I had my primary enjoyment out of the Halo show was watching my friend Kyle squirm as it peed all over his childhood.
Oh, good.
But like, I just like the fact that it's dead, because Halo was a huge franchise. Like, it was the franchise there for a little bit. Like the Halo 2 marketing campaign, for example, enormous stuff. Like Halo 3 as well. Like, these were like genre-defining titles. Halo 1 was also like lauded as incredible looking, a system seller. I still remember how they painted the little horns on his helmet as a texture on his visor, and everyone's like, "Wow, that looks amazing!" Like, it's just a little flat texture.
Yeah, Halo is an amazing franchise that's seen that is almost fallen off relevance. Over the last. It's only relevant because it keeps being pushed by Microsoft. But I don't think that there's an audience that is super excited to really go in and go hard on Halo like there was. He said Halo 2 was so far ahead of its time. Halo 3, great game. Halo 4, some people liked it, but I think a lot of people will say that Halo 2 and Halo 3 is where the series peaked. But to see it kind of like it's almost fall from grace in the minds of gamers, it's been really really interesting for sure.
And it's because it's been kicked and abused all along. And the TV show was something else where there was one particularly brilliant article that came out before it launched where the star, Pablo Schreiber, claims that this was TV entering a golden age. My God.
What?
That's right. Wait, I don't know. This is just amazing. I saw we talked about this tweet as well. There's a tweet that said something effective like, it's really not that hard. If you just follow the source material, that's all you need to do. Follow the source material, like beat for beat. Don't get creative. Don't add your own spin. Just give us the story of Halo 1 the exact same way in TV form, and people are going to eat that up. And instead, we had Master Chief butts and Master Chief face.
Okay, I'm just scrolling through this article, and this is interesting. This is a question she was asked. It said, were you a fan of Halo before you got the call? And she said, I'd play the games, but only in battle mode, just running around shooting my friends. I never played it as a campaign, so I had no idea what it was, a vast treasure trove of mythology that it is.
Yep. So it goes back to people don't know. They don't know.
There was also the rumor, and I don't think this was ever confirmed, but the rumor stated that Pablo Schreiber only signed up with the contractual guarantee that he'd be able to take off the helmet, which... him not having played the game, I can accept that. He's just an actor. Okay, put a script in front of him, tell him to scowl at the camera. Fair. But when you do that, that is disrespecting the character. Like, on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, when Carl Urban was hired for Dredd 3D, that 3D killed the entire movie, by the way, he explicitly asked, I'm keeping the helmet on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw this with Mandalorian, I believe, as well, where Pablo, what's his name, was like, "Hey, I want to take the helmet off," and I think that was the whole idea behind. I think that was one of his requests as well. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I do recall him wanting to take it off, and it's like it's one of those things where you go like, "That's what makes the character cool, is that you never take off the helmet." I think that's really really fun.
I mean, they wrote an entire storyline then about him taking off the helmet. Like, wow, way to lose track of the point of this, because Mando was at its best when it was a bounty hunting story. And it lost that quite quickly, unfortunately. I really liked the first episode, but the moment I saw Baby Grogu, I pretty much knew where they were heading, and it just went worse season for season after that.
Yeah, I watched the first season. I didn't get past that. I tried to get into the second one. Couldn't quite get there.
Meanwhile, have you watched Dredd 3D?
No.
Okay, so Dredd 3D is a fantastic movie. It's one of the best movies I've actually ever seen. It got no traction. Nobody watched it. It didn't earn a cent, and it was virtually all because of the title Dredd 3D. Because this came out at the very time, and this came out in 2012, when everyone was sick of forced 3D in their entertainment. And it's right there on the fucking poster.
Dredd 3. I got to do a little digging on this. Do a little digging on Dredd 3D here. See what we got.
Yep. It is a great, great movie. I cannot recommend it enough. And Carl Urban is an absolute champion in it.
Okay. Was this like there was the movie Dredd that came out? Is this just the 3D version of it?
No, its official title on the poster was Dredd 3D, with the 3D part as a part of the title.
Okay.
Whereas now, I think you mostly see it as Dredd 2012, like 2012,
Yeah.
an IMDb says it.
Okay. This is the Stallone remake of the Dredd character, right? This is Judge Dredd from back in the day.
Oh, no. This is Carl Urban's Dredd, not Stallone.
Right. Yeah, but this is the same character though.
Yes, Judge Dredd.
Yeah, Judge Dredd, man. I am the law.
Yep.
Sorry. Yes.
And even the Stallone version, you know what? The Stallone version, it's not bad. It's actually a pretty good movie. Wish he would have kept his helmet on, but still.
Damn, Sylvester Stallone, all 5'3" of them.
But it bombed because of the title. And people have been trying to get a sequel now for 12 years at this point, desperately, and just nothing, because it bombed that hard because somebody decided to put a 3D at the bottom.
Yeah, man, 3D was a really fun era, where it's 3D TVs and 3D everything. It's okay, who thought this was going to be a great thing?
Oh yeah, I remember when Spy Kids 3 came out, and when you got the disc, you could get Spy Kids 3D with those stupid ass 3D glasses. I remember that.
3D was cool for a year or two, and it was a novel experience. Went to the cinema, you got the dumbass glasses that hurt your eyes. It's wow, this is kind of neat. And then nobody liked it afterwards because it was too much of a gimmick. And the IMAXs can still do 3D when you do proper 3D with the super duper surround sound and the incredible screen, etc. That is still an experience, but it never got the support it required to actually keep itself alive. So even the IMAXs now are mostly just regular cinemas.
I think the last 3D movie that I seen was when Avatar first came out.
Oh, that's right. That was a long movie, too. I remember halfway through that, I just gave up on the glasses, nah, my head hurts now.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see the second Avatar.
I haven't either.
Surprisingly good, actually. It's a positive story about fatherhood in the current year, which is weird. And we had to, make it a story about enormous cat people to get there, but at least we got one, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just sit and watch it.
Avatar is really fascinating because it's the most popular thing ever, but I can't name. I mean, I don't know a single person. Maybe Arch, you're the person that can actually name a character from the movie.
Oh,
it's not
the only character I can name, quote unquote, is the kick-ass colonel dude who sips coffee whilst blowing up their home tree.
Well, even that, you said the kick-ass colonel dude.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But because you're entirely correct, Avatar was everywhere for 5 minutes, and it had no cultural impact at all. Nothing.
You're
it's
right.
almost weird.
There is what's it called there's Avatar Land in Disney World now, and that's kind of weird.
Really?
But apparently they're making 6 or 7 avatars. I think that's the plan. Is it's a big long series.
Is it going to be 10 years between each movie or something? Are we not going to see the other ones before we fucking die?
Good old Jimmy Cameron maybe dead before Avatar 3 comes out.
Well, I think they'd planned out 4 or 5 movies, and the massive gap is simply because all of that 3D. I mean, hell, merely just rendering that movie, I guarantee you, took months.
Arch, I have a serious question here, and I'm sorry to stop down the show. This is actually a very serious question. When you speak, do you actually roll your R's like that?
Yes.
Because that is absolutely amazing.
I do. It's a oh God, what's the English word? Tick that I developed many years ago and never stopped.
Your ability to roll an R is second to none. I'm telling you that right now. It is outstanding.
It's not even a conscious thing anymore. It just happens.
I love it. I love it. You sound very wealthy every time you speak.
I mean, he already sounds posh. He needs to add the R rolling with it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's crazy. Well, I have some news on Avatar. Avatar 3 is coming in 2025, Avatar 4 2029, Avatar 5 2031. So there you go.
I was just looking that up too.
2031. Well,
Dude, hey, I hate to break it to you. We're in the future. We're in the future, man. And it's scary. The future is scary.
I don't. Okay, see. Okay, in 2031, when I've finally seen the final one, I need to sit down and like do a deep analysis of the Avatar movies because there's some fascinating layers there. Like the whole humanity is bad thing, for example, is a really interesting part of Avatar 1 and 2 because humanity isn't really doing much wrong here. Like in the first one, they've found a planet. The population is full of savages. They are technologically backwards. And humanity's like, okay, there's this cool-ass metal here. It does magical bullshit. We want it. And they go to the avatars, the blue people, like, hey, can we dig up this stuff? You don't need it, right? Are you using it? No? Okay, cool. And they just start attacking the humans, like shooting their trucks, killing their people. And the humans are just... Okay, we're gonna have to invest billions into cloning cat people now so we can talk to these pieces of shit. Humanity is doing everything in its conceivable power, including full-on genetical engineering, to try and make peace with the savages, and they just refuse.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the hero is the guy who goes native, who's like, oh, no, humanity, you can't possibly have this unobtainium that is literally the saving thing of your planet. But why not? We can share it. Like, you're literally not using it. Like, hey, and if they're willing to spend billions on creating cat people, which probably has a secondary market, to be fair, in sexual... then surely they would be willing to agree to do stuff with the aliens. Like, okay, aliens, we need the unobtainium. Where can we dig? Like, we'll make nature reservoirs. We'll wall it off. We do this on Earth all the time. We'll take care of your planet. We'll give you technology. We'll even let you live in your own sanctums. If you don't tell us to dig here, we won't dig here. But no, there's like no diplomacy at all with the Na'vi.
Savages. Just savages. I don't know enough about. I've seen the first Avatar once, so like that's my knowledge of all that. So I don't know.
And
Okay,
the fact that it had no cultural significance, I think that's the biggest thing. Because like, imagine a movie like Blade. Like Blade has an audience to this day. You know.
Let's go.
Or even like Avatar, the Airbender has an audience to this day. And yet Avatar was so much larger than all of them. And it's just like a thing that happened. The person who probably knows the most about Avatar is literally the Disney stock owners this was their only bright spot in the last 10 years.
Man, think of a more iconic opening to a movie than Blade walking through a meat market or whatever it is, and the blood raining down, destroying all the vampires. That sweet techno beat, he's going through, busting, shooting dudes, stabbing them in the face, slicing and dicing and kicking people. Oh, it's the best. Sorry, got a little crazy with Blade right there for a second.
There's no too crazy about Blade. And this is why they can never make another one. Because Wesley Snipes' ability to be effortlessly awesome cannot be replicated. He is the only man that can walk into a room full of vampires and you get that they are the ones who are afraid of him.
That's what I love about you, Arch. You know Blade, and I appreciate that.
But yeah, sorry, Lumi, you were trying to interject.
Oh no, you're fine. It's like the last thing that I heard, at least, of the most current Blade project is that another director left and a writer left.
Yep. Because they're trying to make it about his daughter. It's like you can't. You can't replace Blade.
I said this the other day, and Lumi, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this as a younger woman. How dare I assume your gender? Um, but I think that there is a tremendous market for these movie companies. They're investing all this money in all these properties, all these new films, all these things that are they're bringing back Blade, right? Why? Why don't you just take the existing film that already exists, re-release it, expose that an entirely new audience to a show that is, or to a movie that is critically loved, audience loved. It's all there for you. Just take it and re-release it. There's an entire Lumi. Have you ever seen Blade before?
I have not. I've been meaning to, but I haven't yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why not just re-release it?
It's like, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's similar to the Crow. I am very passionate about the Crow, and the Crow remake with fucking what's his name, Skarsgård, that one, the one that played Pennywise. It looks like absolute fucking dog shit. It's bad. I heard with test audiences, they all hate it. The actor hated it. He said he regrets doing the role at this point. And it's supposed to come out, I think next month. And it's like, I will grit my teeth and I will watch that movie just so I can rip it to fucking shreds. Because they could just, re-release the original Crow, HD, 4K, whatever the fuck they want to do with it. Give me a nice steelbook for the movie case, because I like collecting steelbook covers. They're nice, in my opinion. But it's like, the original Crow movie is absolute perfection, with the acting, with the music, with the set design, and everything. Literally nothing is wrong with that movie, but they are bastardizing the entire fucking thing, spitting in Brandon Lee's face with it, God rest his soul, and just, I hate it. I hate it so fucking much.
Lumi, how do you really feel about it?
Fuck them.
It's amazing to see. I really do think that. Well, like I said, I think the idea that you could re-release the movies and everything would be great. But you know what I think the bigger issue here is? That I think, and this is kind of off on a total other tangent, but we'll just kind of roll with this because why not? I think that streaming services are missing out on a huge opportunity, right? People say, well, why would I want to watch something on a streaming service versus buying it, right? Because when you buy something, usually you get some sort of, a director's commentary or some sort of extended cut or whatever, right? Bonus features. How come on the streaming services we don't have those features? You don't have the commentary. You don't get the bonus features. Why not? I think that's a huge missed opportunity.
On some stream sites, like on Voodoo, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. It's like there is the director's commentary and stuff, but it's under a separate tab that you have to go find. And then it's like, oh, look, here's the bonus features. And it's like, no one is going to go out of their way to try to find that. That's why I like DVDs. I still get the Blu-ray discs, and if they have the digital copy code, I will either redeem it on mine or, hey, I know someone who will like this movie, I'll give them the code.
Okay, maybe I need to check that out. Voodoo, you said, huh?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'll do a little dig and see. I was thinking more like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, they don't have that shit.
Yeah, they should absolutely have that. Sorry, just a random thought. I apologize.
And Lumi also sent this retarded thing from Rings About.
You're welcome. You're subjecting me to season 2, which I'm almost done with season 1, and I hate every moment of it.
Oh, why? Why did they make that picture?
They're two separate pictures, but it didn't crop correctly.
And the worst part is, that is a perfect meme because, yes, they already know what Sauron looks like. They've already interacted with Sauron. And now Sauron is going to walk back in amongst the elves, looking like he did, and be like, hey, I'm a new guy here. Can I teach you how to make some rings of power?
Well, I am the resident Lord of the Rings expert on side scrollers, having seen the three main movies in the last 4 months or so. So I have not seen the Rings of Power. I hear it's just absolutely spectacular.
It's an experience.
Yeah, I think that's better. It's an experience, yes. But yeah, it's pretty amazing to see them kind of double down. They're still, I mean, they got to recoup their billions of dollars, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
There we are. There we are.
And it's like I've been watching with my boyfriend and stuff, and how he summarizes it is that this would be good if it was not a Lord of the Rings property. If it was just another fantasy series, didn't have any of the names, or even if it was like, not the main cast, and just be like, oh, let this be Tales from Middle Earth. That would be something cool. Not something directly linked to, Galadriel and everything.
It was a sad, sad series that was inflicted upon us by a cruel and callous god, is all I can really think about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, all right. Let me do some super chats. Come along. I'm gonna do at least the ones for Craig directly, whilst we still have you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bad Dragonite. That is a reference to the Bad Dragon brand, which I hope neither of you know about.
No.
You're being Lumi.
Every degenerate knows about Bad Dragon. I mean, did you also know, this isn't linked to Bad Dragon, but it's to another thing. So you know what, you know how people for some reason are into egg laying?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, well, anyway, people are into egg laying, and apparently there is this thing where you can simulate that. You have like a little fucking eggs essentially that you can put in you, and they have two different kinds. They can either dissolve inside, or you got to push them out like Kegel balls.
I'm sorry. I have my hand raised over here. Can you please call me?
You're welcome for curse knowledge today.
What? What are you talking about?
I mean, I can send you a link so you can
No.
like.
No. Not requesting. Not requesting link. I think the bigger question here is how do you know about this?
Because I have degenerate friends that are into that.
Okay. Oh wait, they're into pushing eggs out their
People are weird. I judge them. I judge them, I shame them, but I don't hate them.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Well, I will hate them. Oh, sorry. Okay.
There was even a. God, let me please. I hope I don't find what I'm looking for.
Uh-oh. That's always a tough thing when he goes, I hope I don't find what I'm looking for.
There we go. Okay, let me just crop this to censor it real quick.
This is after one super chat, by the way. One. This is our first.
So, feast your eyes upon the butt baby.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, I hate that.
This was marketed as a way for trans women to experience the miracle of childbirth.
You can't be
I hate everything about that. That's worse than the egg thing. That is worse than the egg thing.
That
weighs in at 5 pounds, 13 inches, in case anyone is worried about, their ability to handle.
Wait, what? That's 13 inches?
Yeah, that's $300.
Yeah, that retails for $300, yes.
It comes in white, brown, and Bushman color. No.
Usually things that come out your butt shouldn't be
white. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Arch, I hate you.
The worst part is we didn't actually get to the super chat. I just saw his name and reacted.
Yes, we're after 0 super chats. We're here.
Right, so Bad Dragonite says Craig is right. At the beginning, used to be you would get shamed for making money on YouTube. It was seen as selling out to have
Yep.
Patreon.
Very much so. Very much so. How dare you? Sell it out. It's like you called a grifter today. Like, you're such a grifter. You're such a grifter. It's like, what are you talking about? Try doing that in 2012 or 13. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, like see the thing is it actually is genuinely amazing what has happened to YouTube's ability to monetize stuff, because even the big names back in the day, I remember Total Biscuit talking about how he could barely make ends meet, and he was the man when it came to video game reviews. And now even a tiny nobody like myself can actually make a living off talking shit on the internet. It's amazing.
It is easier today to make YouTube your full-time job with things like monetization features, all that stuff. It's way easier now than it's ever been, and it will continue to get easier. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Get aboard now, along with the other 5,000 teenagers per hour signing up for YouTube. Let's see here. All right, hopefully no more Bad Dragonite in the immediate future. As I am trying to make... Wait, why are you doing this to me, YouTube? Why are you scrolling over there? You're not supposed to be scrolling over there. God help me. There, Samuel Tula. I have to get going now. We'll watch the rest of the VOD. Here's a carrot for no dev on stream. Semi-unrelated, but please have Lumi as co-host more. She's best Tortilla Mermaid. And hello to Craig as well. Loved side-scrollers. Keep up the good work.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate that.
I'm ignoring the tortilla.
Tortilla.
Shut up.
Nightmare reacts to our previous topic. You filth. Craig is too pure for these comments.
True. Wait too pure for this.
Oh, and then immediately, see, chat is a creature of duality. As then Weird comes in with another $2, says, "Time to horrify Craig. Explain how cherubs are made."
Nope, no interest. Please don't tell me. I don't care. Don't know. Don't want to. No interest in learning. Thank you.
You're gonna have to pay me more, chat. I value Craig more than you. It's an unfair world.
He's worth more than $2.
That's
At
right.
least give him $3.50, and then we'll think about it.
Yes.
$3.50.
Hell, all this talk about the past reminds me of English. It reminds me of a game that Craig has yet to complete.
Oh, yeah. You must be talking about. I don't even know what that stupid game is that everyone's. No, Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I haven't beat Chrono Trigger before. Sorry.
See, I never played it myself, so I'm just shrugging over here.
No apologies. No apologies at all.
Razor Wind VT, hello, and good evening, Arch, Lumi, and Craig. What have I missed? Just tuning in to listen while at work. Well, I hope you didn't use speakers for that last portion. So, Bob, what are you listening to? 13-pound butt babies?
That's right. 13 inches, 5 pounds, straight out the pooper. Let's go.
Tim Franz, wholesome ArchCast with Craig. Indeed.
Do you think that they cry on the way out? Like, there's like they go, "Wee, wee," and as it slowly moves out your, it kind of comes, like, and
I hope so. For $300, I hope so.
And also, don't forget, if they're not strong enough to push that thing out, the body's going to try to pull it back in.
Oh, God. Hey, thanks for that, Lumi. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Imagine, like, I've heard a lot of things about people going to the emergency room for interesting things up their sphincter, but that one, God, Hey, doctor, could you help me? Yeah, sure, what's wrong? Oh, nothing, I've just got a 15-pound plastic baby up my ass. Oh.
It's only 5 pounds, all right? Only 5 pounds, only 13 inches. That's it. God, how do they settle on 13 inches? Like, 12's not enough. 14's too much. 13 inches, just right.
Sweet spot.
Yeah. I'm just imagining the product testing on this. Just, it's like, hey, they, them, can you put this up your, and it's like, I don't know. 12, it's not enough. Can you
I don't
go
know. That
one?
one's too white.
Yeah.
Can you
yeah,
get a
right,
darker
right.
one?
Can we give it some hair? Can we make it cry on the way out? I need to feel like a mother. Sorry, this whole thing is just.
I hate every bit of that because, as a woman and a mother that had to, go through the miracle of 12 hours of childbirth, I hate that.
You should be offended. I'm offended
Oh,
for you.
I am. It's gross, disgusting, and also questionable on why you want to shove a baby up your butt.
These are so many wonderful questions that you should ask, and maybe we should call them. That'd be a great video as well. Just saying, like this is next level content right here.
Call the customer support number for the butt babies.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, see, you're bringing me down a path that I'd rather not take here,
stop.
but
No.
Oh no!
I have some
No.
expertise in this area.
Why do you have expertise in this area, Arch? I think
I
you
would
need to
expect Dev to have this expertise, not you, Arch.
I
was
have.
not expecting this conversation when we started the show today.
I was on the internet during the height of wokeist nonsense. I know the links to search up to find men giving births in water pools. Oh, there's a brilliant one that's shot in black and white, like it's really touching, and it's just a man screaming as he... yes.
As he poops? Is that it? Is that really what he's doing? Is he pooping and he's just screaming? I mean, we've all been there. Let's just be real. Sorry.
Some more graphic than others, so be glad that I'm showing you mercy, chat.
Jesus.
All right, let's see if chat has anything worse in store. Elsa Serrano, don't worry, Craig. Arch already has 2 yandere stalkers. Unironically, I have. Had, more correctly. In the past.
What happened? Did you stop being so cool and attractive, and then they decided to stop stalking you, or did they get like a lock of hair and then they sufficed them?
I'm hoping and presuming the first, because I've unironically had 2 women stalk me online in my YouTube career, which is an interesting experience, I will say.
Can I tell you about the first, like, this is 2008, the first time I experienced like the internet being like a really messy place. And once again, this is 2 years into maybe it's 2007. Would you like to hear that story?
Oh, definitely.
So, Lumi, do you want to hear that story?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, cool. So we had just got our first office at Screw Attack, and we were very hush hush about where our office was, because we didn't want anybody knowing where it was. Just showing up, because whenever we got going, and if somebody would show up, then we'd have to stop down, we'd give them a tour, the whole thing, right? And it was not like, it wasn't like the most secure place in the world, right? So, anyways, we have this office, and we just moved in. I'm talking like within a week, right? And out of nowhere, this girl shows up, and she knocks on the door, and I open the door, and she goes, "Hey," and she hands me like a 6-pack of bottled glass Coca-Cola. And she's like, "Hey, I know you like this." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? But thanks, really appreciate that." I had no idea who she was, right, at all. And it became very obvious within like 10 seconds that she knew that I didn't have any idea who she was, right? And it became very clear that to me that she knew that I knew that I had no idea who she was. So what happens is she hands me this Coke. I'm like, thanks so much. And I'm like, that was weird. And about 30 minutes later, I get this email from this girl who's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I know this, it was weird, but I've been having a relationship with you for the past 3 months, and you're clearly not the person that I was in a relationship with. You had no idea who I was. Long story short, she was catfished. And this was long before catfishing was a thing. And the weird thing about it was she knew our address, right? And at the time, probably 4 people knew our address. But one of those persons was fired who knew the address. So the thought was, and this is just a theory, that that person who had been let go was the one who was catfishing, and they told her where they could find me. So it was very interesting, to say the least.
The internet should never pass into real life.
It was messy. Very awkward.
We should keep it all separate, like men in pregnancies.
That's right.
Boog says Craig is the reverse dev. Yeah, kinda. I don't think nobody's angry at Craig. Everybody's angry at Dev. There you go.
Oh no, there's plenty of people who are angry at me for whatever reason, but I don't know. Like they need to tweak their logic. Like anybody who is mad at me is mad at me because they're crazy. That's really what it comes down to. They're nuts. I'm just a normal dude, and they have ridiculous, wacky beliefs. And I just think how everybody's thought, for, I don't know, the better part of 2,000 years or so. So, people be upset at me for that.
I mean, can you really call a lot of the very far left actual people at this point?
They're animals.
They're not normal men.
No, these are not normal men at all. They're normal they-thems, which is the problem.
Mm-hmm. Starscream 1540 says, Craig, will you support the Secretary of Tortillas by buying a Lumi coin?
If you say the word tortilla, I do not support you at all.
Secretary
it's the correct pronunciation, tortilla.
No, it's not, you savage.
It's like you sound like Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite. Gonna make yourself a dang quesadilla or dang quesadilla. I can't even say it. Right? I'm from Texas. I can't even say quesadilla without wanting to punch myself.
But yes, will you support the Secretary Tortilla in charge of acquisitions by buying 1 Lumi coin?
How much is a Lumi coin?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing is you can't. I don't want to commit to something and be like, well, here you go, $500,000.
An expensive
I was
Lumi
about
coin.
to say you can get a YouTube membership, and there you go, 1 Lumi coin.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
And Lord Comes as Spartan says, at least $3.50. How about $10? Elaborate on servitors and cherubs, lol. All right. Well, now I have to do it. Okay, so cherubs is a thing in 40K.
Oh God.
See, because a lot of rich people figured that they needed a way to like carry fancy stuff around their houses, like candles and prayer scrolls, etc. And so they figured we need something small and light. What about dead babies?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
And so they fasten little anti-grav engines on them, and they have little actual dead babies just flying around their house carrying like candelabras and prayer scrolls and stuff. And there are even factories that create just little dead babies for this express purpose.
Sounds awesome.
I love 40K so much. Oh my fucking god. It's so morbid, but I fucking love it.
Why do the babies, these little baby sister things that you have here, right? Why do the babies have robotic eyes and devil horns? And why does one have a GIMP mask on?
Well, because 40K is not actually very good at making cybernetic creatures. They're actually kind of terrible at it. That's why they need to use bodies, because if they tried to do this on a living person, they would just stop being alive anymore.
Okay. I feel so much more educated now.
And they're not really good at technology either, which is why they use living humans, because that way they don't need to do all of that complicated shit like artificial muscles or nerve endings. They can just puppeteer a corpse.
Oh.
It's way easier to keep the corpse pseudo alive than it is to make a machine to do the job. So,
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. Well, now I feel so much smarter right now than I did just 4 minutes ago. Thank you for that.
it's been an illuminating stream for you today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel both smarter and closer to the devil.
Oh,
Don't
this
worry,
is nothing.
Well,
See.
one day, if Arch lets me get into my interest in Guro and gore, you will really be close to Satan.
Well, it is your birthday tomorrow, so I'm
It
just
is.
saying. Come on, Arch.
See, at least
No.
Lumi is just a dirty, filthy Mexican with weird fetishes. I just have intrusive thoughts and an overactive imagination. I'm the kind who hears something terrible and I just start picturing it. Like when you mentioned that guy who had OnlyFans with dick sucking, that's in my head immediately. And I was like, yep, thank you.
I mean,
Arch-
I instantly picture things as well. If you describe something, my brain will instantly just plaster that into my mind. I'm like, I hate this. I hate this so fucking much.
I just love the fact that you called Lumi a dirty effing Mexican.
Yes, I am a dirty fucking Mexican. Well, no, I'm a dirty fucking half Mexican.
I
Excuse
wasn't
you.
even born in Mexico, but I don't care. I'm from Norway. I can judge.
That's so funny.
I'm sorry you're Swedish.
Hey, call
I can still demote you.
can you
No!
call him- Lumi, call him a dirty fucking. Say it back. Say it back. Say it back. Give it to him back. Fight for yourself. Let's go, Lumi. Fight. Come on,
He'll take my title away.
Lumi. He's not going to take your title away. Give it back to him. Give it to him. Fight.
You
Fight.
dirty fucking Swede.
There you go. That's my girl. I'll buy your coin.
Yay!
See, Craig, did you know, by the way, there are people who can't see images in their head?
No, that's interesting to me.
Did you not know that?
No.
So
Is this a joke or is this real?
no, this is real. There is there's a thing called aphantasia, aphantasia, something like that, where it's kind of like that picture there, where some people can see an apple in their head, and they see an apple as in real life. I do that. Other people can see a caricature. Other people can't see color. Some people can only see shapes, and some people can only see letters.
Wow. That's interesting.
Oh yeah,
And,
I know my boyfriend was describing it. I think it's called aphantasia. He has aphantasia, so it's like he can read a book, see a bunch of descriptions on things, but he can't picture it no matter how much he tries.
Pretty fascinating stuff.
It is. Personally, I think that everybody who can't see an apple dangling on a tree with little beads of rainwater falling down it slowly, should they have human rights? I'm not so sure.
Wow. The answer is no.
Correct. I'm sorry, Lumi.
You're okay.
Okay, so, Craig, you gotta leave us now, so thank you very much for hanging out with us today, and I'll be back on Side Scrollers in a couple of weeks, won't I?
I'm looking forward to it, buddy. As always, every other Wednesday we got Arch on. Maybe we got a lot to talk about on Monday. We're live Monday through Friday. If you don't mind me doing a little bit of promoting, if you guys want to come join us over there, it'd be great. Over on the Side Scrollers podcast channel, we're closing in on 90,000 subscribers. I launched a potential new video series today, just called Top 5 Idiots of the Week. And I think this is something that I can do every single week. And so far, it's been pretty good. So it's kind of like a recap of all the stupidity that happened. So check out the top 5 idiots of the week video. It's available right now on the Side Scrollers podcast channel. Then join us Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time when we're back at it, baby. So, hey, pleasure to hang out with you guys today. Lumi, let me know where I can send you money. Arch, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate you guys.
It's been awesome. There will
nice
be links
meeting you, Greg.
to the side scrollers in the description of the video, or not just the title. Just the funny little thing that YouTube did, where you can just click on the letters and you can actually go to their channel. One of the few good things YouTube has done the last 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this: everybody who shows up on Monday to watch Side Scrollers at 11 a.m. Central Time when we're live, Lumi's going to give you a Lumi coin. So just heads up on that. Okay.
I mean, hey, during my little birthday thing, every 50 subscribers / members I get, I am doing a giveaway of a little mini Lumi plushie. So that'll be fun.
Nice. All right. Well, you guys have a great day, you guys. Catch you guys later.
You too. Good night, Craig.
Good night.
See ya.
How do I leave? Oh, there we go.
You press that phone hang up button.
And now that
He's
Craig
showing
is
his
away,
age there.
I would never suggest to you, by the way, chat, that you substitute the butt baby with a Lumi plushie. I would never suggest that, ever. And I would not, in any way, or shape, or form, say that might be an appropriate way of utilizing it, because it would be terrifying.
Don't do it to the plushie. I have a standee for a reason. Go buy that. You could put her in a jar and everything, if you please. It's the size of a shoju bottle.
The jar. Every time the image of that sad Rainbow Dash flashes through my mind. Poor Rainbow Dash.
Don't do the Lumi. Exactly. Do not do the Lumi.
Let's see. Zonta, Art. Trump has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He just has to. Trump. Vance VP. Art. Well, that was fun. 5 minutes of hope while it lasted. Well, see, I kind of like Vance in that at least he seems like a true convert. And hey, you will never find a more zealous individual than someone that has seen the light. And maybe, we'll see. But he is also a little bit of a swamp monster, so, Mark to Shame, Dev day off. Dev is doing his movie thing. So I think he's off this week. I think he's off next week. And then maybe he's back on the week after that again. I'm not entirely sure. Smudgy, here's a dono because no Dev. Listen, you're still like $100 behind the usual that I get with Dev when he pisses you off. So you're not doing a good job of making me reject Dev here. Huh, chat? Yeah. You're not pulling your weight here. Mark to shame. What Halo TV show? As far as I know, there was never a movie, let alone a TV series about Halo or the Halo franchise. That is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
See, ever since Craig brought up that dick-sucking thing, I now just have that image in my head, and I'm just swapping out the characters sucking the dick. Now it's Pablo Schreiber, for example, and it just won't leave. It's like one of those songs that are stuck in your brain. Ugh. Sometimes I wonder how I function as a normal human being.
I mean, I'm sure you probably question how I function as a normal human being regarding the few tastes that you know of mine.
Immediately some terrible things jumped into my head, but I've already tested YouTube's terms of service enough with the butt babies for today. Zonta, people are too hard on Dev. Remove $5 from MLP Smash or Pass Fund. Boog, Greg, Futa with balls or no balls? I didn't, damn it, I didn't see that one. I Control F'd Craig, blame YouTube, not me. Or Google, or Chrome, or whatever. I'm blameless. Okay, Lumi then. Futa with balls or no balls? With foreskin or no foreskin?
Mm, man,
It's a hard question.
I don't know. I mean, depends on one if they're actually clean and they actually keep care of themselves. Because who wants dick cheese if they don't clean? Because
Ah, dick cheese.
apparently people who don't clean their shit if they're not circumcised is like absolutely fucking disgusting. And like, okay, I was listening to like this doctor talking about things that they experienced in like, their work and everything. And there is like this 45-year-old man that never actually cleaned his shit. And there
Ooh.
was it was like the size of a large marble what he scraped out of that man's foreskin. It was horrifying.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth there.
You're welcome. Smegma discussion? Yes.
Actually, so I was playing War Thunder one time, and we came onto this topic. And you know how the French have like weird perfumes that smell really strongly? Well, coq du fromage.
I've heard that before. I forgot where I've heard that before, and I hate that it was brought back up.
It's just dick cheese in a jar, which you used to like plaster all over yourself, and it's an animalistic, strong, potent smell,
What the fuck? I just joined. You're welcome, Mark. Welcome to the stream.
Just imagine the price tag of coq du fromage. Like it doesn't grow on trees, It needs to be raised over long periods of time. I don't even know, like what. I would imagine it's like the fossilized piss, I guess. Oh, that is disgusting. Never mind. Moving on. Also, Boog, who is best pony, Lumi?
Who's best pony?
Yes.
From the, I'll just go with the Friendship is Magic crew. I honestly like Applejack. I personally like Applejack. More so because, voice actors, southern twang to the voice. I'm good with that.
That is true. I do like all of her silly little sayings. And, have you watched Boku no Pico? Boog, why do you ask these things of people?
What did Boog ask?
Have you watched Boku no Pico?
Oh, Boku no Pico? Yeah. I watched it when I was 12. Because it was passed around on a flash drive along with the cracked version of Minecraft.
Well, there you go. We had a whole we had a meme for a while there. Boku no Dev. That was when Dev said something dumb. It would be Boku no Dev.
Boku no Dev.
Nicholas Cantor. Arch, have you thought about the price tag for Let's Play of CK3 after the end mod? Also, Lumi is best fish and best co-host.
No, thank you.
I'll give you a regular playthrough of CK3 first as a test to see how people like it, and if people like it, I'll do a fund for like a special thing if you want it. Vulture 1066, have a pool on age in ArchCast audience. I think it's like 25 to 35 is like my largest demographic. Like children don't watch me. I don't know. And
25 to 35 is like my largest demographic too, and like a 97% men.
I think I've got you beat. I think I've got like 99 on the Warhammer channel. This one has a far higher percentage of womensis, and I try my best to reduce it, but no matter how misogynist I am, it doesn't seem to work.
Women secretly like the misogyny.
Marksman 117B, hello gang, how are my favorite tortillas doing?
The tortilla is doing well.
See, there's barely even an I in there, God help me. Travis Damasio, good, no communist, pooping or eating, maybe both. First stream in a while, Fish Latinx, my wife enjoys you and your content. She is also a Latinx.
Oh, I'm happy your wife likes my stuff. I'm happy.
A Latinx wife, though. Are you sure? Marksman 117B. Oh, what?
Latino wives are the best types of wives. Best cooking.
And very defensive. You don't need a gun with a Latino wife. Mark17B says, "Forgive me, my favorite hombres hold the queso."
Queso.
Doman, you're going to play Total War Pharaoh update. From what I saw from Kib's stream of the Sea People update, looks fun. In my opinion, looks way more fun than Warhammer. I am. When the big patch hits on the 25th, I'll give it a go just for, administrative purposes' sake. Mark Ashamed. Lumi, have you had the chance to check out the Faith music video by the Aviators, a tribute to the game Faith?
I have, and I'm gonna rewatch it probably on stream today as well, so we can all enjoy it. I will take the little DMCA hit, whatever.
There you go. Mark Ashamed gives me a cake. Thank you. I hate the little stickers that you can't add text to the stickers. Like, that is peak corporate greed. Like, no, text or sticker, not both.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Trujillo, does anyone remember VO? The only reason I started going on YouTube was because that site booted me. Had a YouTube partnership back in 2011, though. VO? No, I've never even heard about that. My VO. American video sharing website launched September 2005. Is this still live? It's still live. Damn. My VO. Oh, it looks very Chinese. Top sexiest women per decade. Okay, all right. I see. Well, that's a website. John McKenna, listening to people sing happy birthday is like a real-life unskippable ad. She sells seashells by the seashore. Fuck you. Havoc 1137. No dev equals open wallet and support. Have shekels, Norseman. They're still like $95 behind the usual Devian minimum. Weak chat. Weak. Cthulhu's been a member for 3 months. SC and Arch. SC. Side Craig? Can you explain why game devs make worse games than the 2000s? Everything seems bloated and uninspired or play to gamble. Oh, it's really simple. It was because in the 2000s, the year 2000, by the way, was the best year of video gaming. Everybody was making games because they wanted to. It was a passion. It was people making crazy fun shit to make crazy fun shit. It wasn't a job yet. And I mean, just like Craig was talking about today, like nobody was earning money off this nonsense. It was something you did out of a genuine delight for the craft. Whereas now it's a 9 to 5. Cause not. Hey Arch, considering last week's happenings, I'm surprised no one made the obvious female custodies meme. Well, I think I saw one about the female custodies couldn't be placed on the roof because it was too slanted. I did love that. It's like, what? Secret Service, why didn't you place any police officers on the roof? Too steep.
It's just fucking funny. Yeah. And then the next day, just see someone posting a picture of a cow up on the roof, and it's like, okay, tell the cow to get down. It's dangerous.
No. Tell the cow to get down. He needs to join the Secret Service. Ben the Sniper of 800 Australian. Thank you very much, sir. Finally, no dev. Lumi is a much better co-host. Keep the good times rolling. Thank you, sir. Vulture 1066. Just men. Normal men. Indeed. Massive Dog 1. I live in Cali. It's almost a given that you have to live with your parents. I mean, I get it. In Norway, like a basic bitch house, like just even like a basic small apartment will cost you at least like $300,000-$400,000 straight up. It's very difficult to get into the housing market. Either you're going to have to take a loan that is going to take you like the next 30, 40 years to pay off with consistent employment, so you better not lose your fucking job. Or you're not moving out until you're fucking 40. Razorwind, V2, hello and good evening, Arch, Lumi, and Craig. What have I missed? Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, coq du fromage and butt babies. That was what? Tim France, wholesome Arch. Oh. And the image just flashed in my head of the butt baby covered in coq du fromage. Lubricants. Ah. Thank you, brain. Tim France, wholesome ArchCast with Craig. Happy birthday, Lumi, and hail to the bridge god. Hashtag Witcher.
Thank you.
At least it's better than when chat made me talk about, like, imaginary covers for gay porn movies. That took off on more than one occasion. Marked ashamed. Rumble stream crashed. It did. Rumble is a little gay occasionally, sadly. Boog, Craig is the reverse dev. He is. Marked ashamed. Crocs, K-Rox, Crocs is disliked by the right for making the attempt and disliked by the left for failing. He achieved 100% loser status. Who is this? Google.
Trying to say
Google didn't help.
crooks.
Yeah, Krooks.
I think they might have misspelled the attempted assassin's name because Crooks, his last name was Crooks.
Ah, that makes sense. Panda Ace, here is $10 to sing Happy Birthday to Lumi, though it needs to be off-key to avoid copyright. Feliz cumpleaños, Lumi.
Thank you.
What is the no. For some reason I thought Feliz Navidad was happy birthday to you. I don't know why.
No, that's Christmas.
Is there a difference?
I guess technically not, because you're getting gifts on both days.
I am Googling. Excuse me? The definition of a birthday. A birth that comes once a year. I mean, yes.
No. Really?
That's true. I just, your wording was off. God help me. I literally cannot find the fucking text to happy birthday now. Well, chat. Google is not helping me. Thomas was saying, Arch says, Trest, Trieste, Tigres, Tragan, Trigo, and Untrigar. I probably got that right.
Sound like you were having a moment of pure manic.
And hi, Lumin. Hi, Craig. Hope everyone is having a great day.
Yes. I was having a good day up until the butt babies came up, and then I was having a bad day after that.
Oh, butt babies. Horus Lupical, my life's goal is to make a Ruby ripoff that's better than Ruby. Simply, I'm presuming, to shit on Rooster Teeth for butchering that show. I hate Carrie. Retweet retweet RT are evil? Rooster Teeth are evil. There you go. I never watched it. I tried to watch it. I hated the voice acting, and I turned it off after about 5 minutes. Like, no, this is terrible. Maranga 2, Arch, what do you think of the Quens? I think they're mostly not my problem. Aren't they more like in Finland or something? I think they're like a bastard offshoot of the Sami or something. I think they're more like the Finns or the Swedes problem, which is not my issue. Thomas is saying, also, Arch, maybe reach out to Dev. He needs friend. I have tried. Dev insists on digging a hole. He wishes to be deeper. Jammy1, hello Arch. I want to say it's too early to celebrate DEI's demise. They are just going to change the language and bring in Bridge, which I find more worrying. I don't actually think it's going to work. Because what we're changing with all of this isn't just DEI awoke. It is changing the culture surrounding it. Because the reason why DEI is bad isn't because it wants to bring in diversity, or it's like, oh, it's racial inequality, we're going to try to fix this. It's bad because it produces bad results. It produces bad movies, bad television, bad video games, bad software updates. And I don't think that's going to change, no matter what label you put on it. You might be able to trick some people, but I'm pretty sure eventually they're gonna, you knock on their door in a white cloak and a hood, and people are pretty much gonna realize what you're selling.
It's like, if you want to get a nice TLDR on the entire DEI bridge thing, Kirsha did just put out a basic TLDR video that's about 2 hours long, but it covers everything that she's dug up.
Yep. Weird, does it bother anyone to learn that we now live in a movie or a comic? We have Donald Trump, Hulk Hogan, a wrestling promoter, and an ex-Fox reporter. We kind of do. Fiction has grown far stranger than... or reality has grown far stranger than fiction. Nightmare. Kevin Conroy deserved better. R.I.P. Wait, is he dead now?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been dead for a while.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, he did amazing work as Batman. Oh. That is tragic. Sandoom, Halo TV show was cancelled. Not surprised. Me neither. I'm surprised it got a second season. Not ashamed. The update is the malware. Yes. Oh, fuck. Windows Vista was the malware. Dark Innovator. Hail Arch, would you ever have the aristocratic utensil on the ArchCast? A royalist and a dev critic. The drama Arch. I can only have one. A weird political person online at a time. It'll have to be pet dev. See, okay. Chat, let me actually explain the loyalty to dev thing for a moment, because I think this is something that I'll probably have to reiterate a few times, but when I was first starting out YouTube with Warhammer, I was trying to create a community of Warhammer content creators, because there weren't a whole lot. Like, I was one of the first ones who made it big after, like, Vaults of Terror, who was, like, 5 years on YouTube before me again. And so I was thinking, like, okay, let's try and get everybody on to have fun with this YouTube thing, because YouTube seems like a great job. So I was bringing them onto my channel, doing, like, community spotlights, and all of them were super nice, like, yeah, I'd love to do this. And I was like, okay, I can make friends here. We can have a little community. We can all promote each other. We can all have fun doing YouTube. Every single one of them backstabbed me. Each and every one. And in a way, that has made me value friendship more so than ever. So Dev's going to have to do some pretty terrible things for Arch to cut him off. Like purchasing a butt baby.
So, is someone send Dev a butt baby?
Oh. God damn it. And now the mental image of Dev squatting, squeezing a butt baby out of his backside.
Oh, no,
whilst
Jeff!
wearing a Sonichu medallion.
I don't want to see this. No. Stop
He's
it.
smiling at the camera as he does it, his little curly hair. Giving a
I
thumbs
hate you.
up.
Stop. The mental image won't leave. I fucking hate you.
You're welcome, chat. Marked ashamed. Southwest Airlines should buy Boeing. I wish they would. Santum. So it's good that I had my PC off for 6 months. Yes. Sujad has been a member for 19 months. Thank you very much. I was telling my work friend that something like this was likely to happen after Google and others pulled out of Russia, and how it would hit society. And chat just caught up to the dev part. Good chat. Good. Louis said, GM, here you go, Arch, a small incentive to keep dev away. The fish woman is a much better replacement. See, I'm glad I don't know what Lumi looks like, because that way I can't imagine anything like that. I really hate the fact that I know what Dev looks like now. God, I could have been spared that. You could have been spared that, chat, but no. Nightmare. CrowdStrike is extremely shady. DNC Ties CEO was at McAfee during the 2010 McAfee-based global outage. Yeah. Imagine to have that happen twice. Cartography Prime. I'm so tired of dark superheroes. I want to go back to the days when heroes were heroes and Superman and Batman balanced each other out perfectly. Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. We need to go back to the bright and cheery superheroes. Nobody likes the brooding fucking Batman anymore. Vulture 1066. I work at a hospital. I want paper charts. Admin wants to digitalize everything. I mean, ideally you should have both, really. Because it is way easier to use digital charts because you can just search it up. But you should have paper copies of everything, just in case. You know, forgetting a patient's blood type, for example, could be unfortunate. James Kuhn, hi guys, hope day is going well. I just joined Where is Dev and Arch? I am not a big fan of Dev, but can he be entertaining? He can be, God help me. Can be entertaining sometimes. Arch, you have the patience of a saint dealing with Dev's communism. Don't I know it? Game Goblin, I work IT at a bank. We used to have everything hosted on our servers. We are now dependent on Microsoft Azure. 90% of bank transactions are on the mainframes, but paperwork is with Microsoft. It is awful. Sounds like it. God, see, the banks are genuinely a little bit scary. I remember when Greece was having its economic crises, and the banks were actually allowed by the government to go, yeah, we're not going to give you your money. We're just gonna keep that for now. No withdrawals, please. Oh. I mean, I get it. They didn't want another run on of inflation. I get it, but still. Rubberleg 623. Craig, the whole pennies from accounts is story beat from the Republic Commando citizen books. One of the characters had made a bot program to crawl through the bank system and siphon 1 credit each. That would probably be a lot of money. Lurker, there was a guy who did this before, but he was sending invoices for sending invoices, so there was no fraud. I mean, that's brilliant. Yeah, I provided what is the service? Sending an invoice. Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing. Dark Resurrect, the only acceptable fraud is tax fraud. Taxation is theft. I tell you, I'm beginning to sympathize with this position. Mr. Luckless, the Yasuke thing just gets better and better. It turns out Mr. Lockley made up that Japan was involved in the slave trade. So it turns out the Japanese government isn't happy with blatant lies. Angel Ragnhild, I mean, Netflix got sued by the Egyptian government for doing the same with Cleopatra for that series on their streaming services. That is true. So there's no reason why Japan could not do the same.
Mm-hmm.
So on the Lich, Ubisoft, we chose Yasuke because everything is political. Japanese government, I heard you like to play politics, stranger son. Let's play then. God, I hope they actually do. I don't know. I hope Ubisoft has offices in Japan just so they can get raided. That'd be funny. Doman, they should put a Yasuke in China, Assassin's Creed. I'm sure the Chinese would be thrilled. CNL Ben MC. Oh, actually, Ben. Here. I heard, I'm presuming. Kidoshe broke story DI rebranding to Bridge. Oh yeah, that was a while ago now, like quite a few months, I think. But the Bridge initiative. Marked Ashamed, Halo Reach is the best Halo game. I have been told as much. James Rainey. Halo died when 343 devs said they didn't know that Master Chief was the main character after Halo 5 came out. Bad Dragon Knight. There you go. You reminded me of the thing. And Lumi, of course. And I was like, oh, of course I know Bad Dragon. Lumi. Bad. At least you should pretend. Be like, oh, no, I have no idea.
Oh, what's Bad Dragon? I'm just a good church-going girl. Teehee.
Yeah, I have no idea about this whole company that sells plastic dragon cocks. One of which is named Kyle, by the way, for the rest of my audience's reference.
I mean, there's one named Clayton.
Clayton. I don't know, Kyle. See, I'll bring that up for chat. Does YouTube dislike this? I hope YouTube doesn't like this. There we go. Kyle, the anthrophelion. Ugh. I mean, Clayton sounds better, actually, honestly. Clayton sounds more like what I would imagine a dildo's name would be.
I mean, there's one called, what was it? Bruce. It's called Bruce. And it was like a shark one, so it was a double dildo.
A double dildo, oh.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, the long one with two sides. No, it's like, you know, right next to each other. So it's like if you're a chick, it's one for the front, one for the back.
Well, I mean...
You're welcome for the cursed knowledge. Good thing Craig's not here.
Sometimes you just gotta fill everything, you know? The other thing, too, is Bad Dragon sells t-shirts, which...
Yes, they do.
There's a term in the industry called wearable designs. So basically, you can't have something that's too cringe because people won't buy it because they can't wear it in public. And boy, this is this is adjacent to that. Not quite the same thing, but can you imagine going to the shopping mall with a Bad Dragon shirt? Whew.
I mean, they sell little plushies, too, of their mascot.
And coloring books, too.
Oh, they do coloring books now?
Oh, yeah, coloring books, too.
Huh.
Maybe this is like how furries find each other, I guess. Like, they have like, the secret signs to communicate and identify. It's like, hey, look at my shirt.
No.
Oh, boy. Vulture 1068, History Channel going? Going, yes. Weird, Arch, best WWC voice. Let's get ready to rumble. What's the dude? What's the dude? I can't do that. See, you can't put pressure on me. If you put pressure on me, I can't do it.
He's gonna get performance anxiety.
I do. I get conscious. I can't even do the rolling R things if I think about it. What is it like? Let's get ready to rumble. No, that's not gonna rumble. Now, he does it better. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It needs to be natural. Same way that I can't do the V's and the W's on command. CGR 902. Avatar was just sci-fi Pocahontas. Kind of. It was basically Dances with Wolves, just with aliens. Bad Dragonite. Fun fact, the Avatar games are canon. Oh.
Huh.
Oh. Is that a fun fact? Is that a good fact? Is that a bad fact? Vulture 1066 says Farscape. I did watch that. It was okay. I'm not as into it as some people are. Nolly. So much, I'm getting into a new tabletop game. The minis are rather hard to find. Found them across multiple gaming stores online for order. Advice. Print your own. If at all possible. Otherwise, search for replacements. There are many of those little Etsy. You could check out Etsy. Etsy often has a lot of weird stuff. Raining Tedda. YouTube didn't notify me and Rumble isn't working. Oh, yeah, both of them aren't working. Harry the Human Substitute Aranka. Silence the Slanishi cultists, says his heresy. Oh, which is the guilty to the dev pot? Moxman117B. Craig, I have a show for you. Thunderbolts Fantasy. Think Team America, but with an anime style. It's amazing what this Taiwan show does with puppets. I wonder why it didn't get a lot. Like, I searched for Control F Craig, and it didn't give me half of them. Dumb. Thunderbolt Fantasy, eh? Guess I'll have to check that out. Lord comes a Spartan. Oh yeah, it's the Cherubs one. Armor's foul, how much? Barkimus. Blade, it sounds about the right time to explain the pencil meme. I've explained the pencil meme to You haven't I, Lumi? The pencil?
No.
I don't. Oh, okay. So me and my friends were playing the New World MMO, and it's very, very boring. And we got this idea into our head then, because do you know what sounding is?
Yeah, I watch enough Kirsha to know what sounding is, unfortunately.
Well, there you go. We came onto the topic of how there were tools for sounding and how people were using pencils of different sizes. And this then got interlocked with Star Wars, where it was all Star Wars memes. You're not ready for the number 2 pencil. What was it? I can't remember it now. God, I have it as a short on my channel somewhere. It's great. But yes, pencils. Pencils and penises. A terrible combination.
That sounds like a porn parody for Dungeons and Dragons. Pencils and penises. I hate that.
No, that's good. Like a couple of big gay dudes in like furry barbarian armor hugging. You know, their dicks crossed like intertwined swords with a shield behind them. Pencils and penises.
I mean, enough Baldur's Gate 3 mods, I'm sure you could do that.
Or maybe they're hiding their peepees behind the shield, so you only see like the giant hairy coconut nuts just hanging down beneath the shield. That could work, I guess. Strigoi, have you explained Demon Kulaba to Craig as well yet? No. Weird baka feminist waste good baby meat. True. Marksman 117B, Craig, call Arch a snow monkey. No.
I'll do it in place of Craig. You fucking snow monkey.
The official racial insult for Norwegians is in Danish, fjeldabe, which means mountain monkey. That's the official N-word for Norwegians. Jeff Ramandenka, hail Arch, our Lord and Savior. Please teach your guest about the Demon Kulaba and Comus Arcane. We'll have to do that next time. Sujad, Hillary Clinton is apparently floating the idea of replacing Biden.
Oh yeah, I seen Alex Jones post that.
I don't think that would work very well, but it would be funny if nothing else.
We don't need another Clinton in office.
There we go. Ben says, intrusive thoughts are also the bane of my existence. They are.
Yep.
Sandoom, I'm being evil now, and maybe I should tell Craig about that one thing the Iron Warriors made to make more Iron Warriors. It was a demon something thingy. Don't Google it, chat, seriously. A demon Kulaba. A terrible thing. Heat, coming to Woke 40k, touching story about a they-them marine whose precious artificial butt baby gets turned into a cherub. Ooh. I imagine somewhere in the Imperium there's probably a particularly perverted noble who has created himself a butt baby that actually crawls up there by itself and like makes the screaming noises and stuff. Come on, Jeffrey. Clap, clap. Time to get to work. Begins crawling.
No! Stop.
Empties a bottle of lube over itself. Its soulless dead eyes shining. Raining Tenor used to read a lot to the point where it felt like a video game. It's shocking that people like Dev can't visualize things. It is. It's weird. Psycho Science Star has been a member for 11 months. Thank you very much, sir. Roller coaster is fun, but if a month straight is up, up, down, down, I get a bit nauseous. A lot of foot in mouth from a lot of people. Also, Acolyte, peak Disney Star Wars. Oh, yes. Marked ashamed. Lumi laying mermaid eggs will be on the internet. Somewhere. Somehow. Colonel Eviscerator. A coq du fromage doesn't grow on trees, but it does grow in wood. That is true. Good point. No one. So, when are we going into the Guru stuff on either channel?
I mean, we can talk about Girl over on my stream when we go over there.
There you go. It's the draw for the birthday stream for Lumi. Guru. Marked and shamed. Lumi, the woke can corrupt splatterpunk. It's limiting it to only approved targets, so no POC or LGBTQ, only white males, Nazis, and pregnant tradwives.
No. Where splatterpunk, anybody is a target. Literally, it's like, with splatterpunk, I have seen more suffering with, female characters and teens and stuff. It's like I have read a wide variety of splatterpunk genre books, and no one story is the same, and it's almost beautiful in a way because no one gets to get away from poor characters to rich characters to innocent to fucked up already. It's great. I love it. But again, if you can't handle like a regular horror or gore, don't look up splatterpunk books. But if you're interested, read the book Cows from Matthew Stoke. I'm sorry, and you're welcome.
Mr. Bob7370 has been a member for 18 months. Thank you very much, sir. What other ethnic food stuff can we screw up? Can we screw tell Lumi the correct pronouncement? Can we screw tell syntax? Can we screw up tell Lumi the correct pronouncement? I don't know.
Oh, hello, Yiggler. I see you. Hi.
Alex Adamson, Lumi, you have said you're a woman who appreciates certain types of art. May a suggestion, the artist Dutchko. Dude makes good stuff. Have fun.
Okay.
Anon, I know this is off topic, but I'm busy when you stream. Can you please share the music you used during the D&D stream? I would like to use it while I DM. Let me see. There was a whole channel that did this stuff. Let me see if I can find it. This is the one. Bardify. So Bard and Ify. Bardify. That's the channel. It does loads and loads of D&D music, so definitely check them out. Sujad, a non-fun IT fact. Indians really go overboard with their accent to make it annoying, awkward to deal with non-Indians. They are real-world Skaven. Ooh. Raining Terra, happy birthday, Californian Tortilla. No, you're a worse punching bag than Dev. Also, Archley, Rainin, your whipping boy. He's spurging too much. The more he spurgs, though, the better for me. Lurker, looks like CrowdStrike debacle was caused by code made by AI. Oh, really now?
Interesting.
And also, happy birthday, Mex Siren. Mex Siren? Mexer? Mexer?
Thank you. It looks like they were spelling siren with a Y instead of an I.
Dr. T Money Dog, question for the tortilla. What color are rainbows in Mexico? Are they just different shades of brown? And happy birthday.
I mean, if you take a regular rainbow, you put a yellow filter over it, there you go.
That is how they depict Mexico in the movies. How do you know there's Mexico? It's brown.
Yeah, you just put the Mexico filter over it. It's like with the Canadian fires, how New York looked with the yellow sky and everything just looked like it had a yellow filter over it. That's what everyone dubbed the Mexico filter.
Shakaval got a 3D resin printer. Big Tyranids soon. Awesome. Yes, 3D printing is the future. Nightmare, does Dev have a Sonitude medallion yet? No, but I think some people were actually sending it to him. It might have, started hitting him a little early. Raining Tedder, Archley, the butt baby is under the diaper. What are you talking about? Should have been given since he's a diaper fur. What are you talking about? Should have been given since diaper fur. Oh, okay, so you just keep it in. Oh, okay. Well, squeezing your butt cheeks together, I guess, to achieve stimulation. I don't know. There is a thing for that. It's called God, what was it? Ah, internet. Benoit balls. This is a thing, chat. Look it up. I'm sure you'll
Oh, I've
enjoy
heard
it.
of Benoit balls.
Oh, this is a good one. Right, I'll pull that up for chat so that they can think about exactly what's going on here. You are welcome, chat. Now you'll think about this every time you see a woman running. Like, oh. Adherent of Lady Columbia. So, Arch, when are we colonizing the brown wombs? The white woman is not spicy and fertile enough now. Should we try the Latinas first? The Great Bleaching. Yes, it'll be a complicated operation, but we're going to have mandated black and brown waifus. Yes. It'll be extraordinarily authoritarian and tyrannical, but it is the only way to guarantee our survival, I'm afraid. Why you hating? Looking for a new Warhammer book? Recommendations. Honestly, I haven't read a Warhammer book in ages now. I'm too busy reading historical ones. So, I can give you an old one, though. Gotrek and Felix books. Definitely pick those up. They're great. Or Ambassador. The Ambassador series, if you're looking for fantasy. Sandoob, did Markiplier backstab Arch? Like that video. True, he didn't, but... Subject Noble. Butt baby? Dev got a butt chair. Ooh. Ah, like he just taped like a giant dildo to the chair so he sits on it. Ah, I see. Marked ashamed. B baby will make me pro-abortion. JJ Sickman, I have learned to prevent the forming of images in my mind, like Dev sourced coq du fromage. Picture of a bottle of coq du fromage with Dev's smiling face from on a billboard poster. Blade, Dev versus the fat electrician when? I don't even know what that's referencing, and I'm glad. Mr. Luckless Arch, I'd get you a copy of EDF 6 just so you defend our Mother Earth from an alien attack. It's one of the few games that looks good right now. Oh, my slave Kyle has already purchased it for me. He is my personal simp. He buys me video games. Bug5654, all VTubers are innocent little girls and boys, but mostly girls, just like Lumi and Clara Kamanare.
I don't know who that is.
And Lucian becomes a bridge god worshipper. Thank you, Lucian. Dryfeet, 420. Christ, just got here. I don't have social media, but I keep hearing about some kind of bullshit Dev has apparently said or done following a Trump Saturday. Dev get pulled into some internet drama shit again, or did he foot his mouth? Dev is currently in the process of digging a hole as deep as he can because he's Dev. If he sees a hole, you must jump in it. John McCalla, you can get an ovipository delivery system for the insertable egg. Now think of Dev again. Ovipository. Oh, that's like the thing inside like chickens and shit. For the eggs. Oh boy. So it's kind of like a magazine. You shove it up there and then you like squeeze out one egg at a time. Okay. Well, I mean, that's. Ooh. Boy, okay, let's test YouTube's terms of service limits yet again. There we are. Wow, people come up with some interesting shit. What can I say? Dad, where does that fetish even come from? Like, okay.
I don't know.
Because it's true. Sometimes you're scrolling through the internet and you see something and you go like, huh, I guess I'm into this now. And you're just as confused as everything else. This, incidentally, is why I believe that fetishes are hardwired into your brain from the beginning. Because you're not even going to know that this shit exists when you see it and like, oh.
No, want to know something horrifying?
What?
Apparently, like, this was a study that was done, like, a few years ago. That apparently your kinks or fetishes that you're into are, like, I wouldn't say genetic, but like passed down from what your parents are into.
Damn, that is disgusting.
It is absolutely disgusting and horrifying, and I hate it. I hope it's false. I hope they're telling lies.
But still, like, how does one realize that they'd like to lay eggs? Like, how does that discovery dump into somebody's head? Like, yes, I wish I had like an insect womb and could lay eggs. That would be sexy. Like, how would? You know what? I just got the answer, and it has to do with the toilet. Now I don't want to go down this path anymore. So John asks, Lumi, have you ever played Demonophobia?
I have not, but as soon as I seen that super chat popped up, I googled it, I found the download link for it, and maybe I'll play it one day.
Subject Noble, Lumi, what caliber does the Schwere Gustav fire?
I googled it, it says 80 centimeter rounds or whatever.
Oh, cheater. But yes.
I am a cheater.
There was that... Oh, God. What does that gun mean? What was it? Oh, God. Can I find it now? There was this great little gun meme about Walmart selling out, like, handgun ammo. Oh, there we go. Yes, there we go. We'll put that on screen instead of the, birthing egg layer. Walmart no longer sells a 7.62 millimeter, 9 millimeter, 38 millimeter, 40 millimeter, 45 millimeter, 223 millimeter, or 357 millimeter handgun ammunition.
Jeez.
To be fair, a 357 millimeter handgun would fucking clear quite well. Imagine that. I saw a terrorist at the shopping mall, so I pulled out my 357 millimeter legal carry naval gun. I took the entire fucking shopping wall along with him, but he ain't getting back up again. Oh, that's kind of brilliant. Subject Noble, Arch, lore dump things about FDR to Lumi. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Okay, so he really wanted war with Japan. So one of the instructions he issued was for the presidential yacht of the Philippines, which is this dinky little boat, basically like a motorboat, to try and ram Japanese merchant ships in the hopes that he would provoke them to sink the yacht.
What?
Oh, yeah. He really wanted war with Japan. Do you know the reason why the U.S. Navy was at Pearl Harbor?
Why?
Well, see, the Pacific Fleet's traditional headquarters is in California, where all of the, naval shipyards and logistical infrastructure is. He was moved to Pearl Harbor against the express advice of the chief of the Navy at the time, because he was telling FDR, hold on, the Japanese are practicing bombing runs against shallow harbors, like Pearl Harbor. We've practiced bombing runs against Pearl Harbor and have come to the conclusion that it would work really fucking well. You can't do this. And FDR was like, nah, it'll scare the Japanese. So there's the conspiracy theory that FDR basically sacrificed the Pacific Fleet just to get a reason to go to war. Lucian says, "So good, my vanilla gorilla." Vanilla gorilla. Dreyfie, so it's the Chilean fish lady's birthday. Hey, well, happy birthday. Don't worry, I have now started drinking in celebration.
I will be drinking shortly after my stream starts as well.
Lord Commodore Spartan, Clara Caminari is a phase girl. She is remarkably artistic and honestly wife material to me. Phase connect?
Phase connect. Phase connect.
Well, there you go. Shockable, explain white women and dogs. Dirty camp dogs. Whoa. That's a dev thing. Dev's the one who explains women and dogs to people.
It devs the white woman in this situation.
And lastly, Frenchie. The Japanese have made some Chaos God-themed adult toys. They have. They really have. They really have. Okay, Lumi. Let's see how degenerate you are. If I say, the fisherman's wife...
Where have I heard that before?
The very fact that you don't immediately know means that you're not as bad as everybody thinks.
I mean, there's certain, like, I don't know every single degen thing there is out there. I mostly, chill out in the gore section of things.
Good. You may still be rescued. And Streamlabs are grey. At least a cast I can listen to the end. Also, Witcher, need to push that goal little by little. That is true. I'll note that up. Cut off and Fraser, tip $5, saying it's going to be a nice stream since the fish taco is the superior choice of co-host. And happy birthday on top of that, Lumi.
Thank you.
Alfarius. Oh my god, Lumi, since you are going to be here regularly, I must ask, are you Alfarius?
Am I what?
Alfarius.
Alfarius?
Yeah.
What's that?
Can't tell you.
Okay.
It's the code.
I don't know everything, leave me be!
Says Arch, the difference between your Joe Biden joke on side scrolls and the left is joking about Trump is you're joking about his physical condition. The left are hoping Trump dies. Well, okay. I got into like an hour-long debate with Dev about the definition of a joke the other day, which I wish we had on stream. Because, here's the thing. I think me saying that if it was Joe Biden who was shot at, he would be dead even if he missed, because the security team would have broken every bone in his body jumping on him, is a joke. Why? Because I am saying it as a joke. As in, I know that the security service wouldn't kill Joe Biden merely by tackling him. And it's a humorous thing. But when Destiny says, haha, let's kill conservatives, you look at his timeline and you go, is that a joke or is that mockery? Because mockery implies something more serious. The Nazi... The Gestapo guard at Stalag 13 who leans into the oven where they burn all the Jews and goes like, ha, cookies. It's theoretically a joke, but at the same time, it's not really a joke, is it? Basically, you can't say, you can't punch somebody, steal their purse, and then go like, joking, bro, and then run off. Porkelda 2, Lumi, you claim to hate feet, and yet your wife is Rosa, the feet snake. That's a good point.
I have many wives.
Alfarius Omegon, Lumi, please enlighten me as to where I acquired a plushie. Also, when Arch plushie? Like a literal Arch, please. You're nowhere near cute enough to put your face on it. Just an Arch.
So for now, the Lumi plushies are limited to my little birthday event that's going on. You can either get a 30-centimeter plushie for giving me $200, or you can have a random chance of getting a mini Lumi plushie for every 50 subscribers or YouTube members that I get. Eventually, when I have more income that I can, get a stockpile of plushies to sell, it's just limited ones for now. Or you can get a Lumi standee that is the size of a soju bottle for $22, or you can get it as a merch bundle for $35 with a postcard, a sticker, and a keychain.
Well, there you go. Caravan Fraser, I think you missed my first chat, so I'll just wish the fish taco happy birthday again. I want to reiterate that she is superior co-host. It was just taking us ages to get to it. I didn't have Streamlabs up today, because, I don't know. For some reason I was like, oh, Rumble's crashed. I guess I don't need Streamlabs either, because brain. And Alfer's Omegon, a mountain monkey, it's so boring. I prefer reindeer, Fjord, and Seiju. Unfortunately, most terms for Norwegians were made by the filthy Swedish people, and are therefore not fit to be spoken by humans. True. Subject noble, no Witcher, only Metro. Blaze Snow, listening to ArchCast while napping leads to some weird dreams. I would imagine so, yes. Especially when you wake up to fetish topics. Blurs the line between dreams and reality, to be honest. I know. See, Lumi, have you ever had a dream that you found like the perfect pornographic material, like the perfect hentai doujin, and then you wake up and you're disappointed?
Yes.
That is a weird fucking dream to have. Arnos Fowl, how much to prevent anyone from getting any plushies?
I mean, if you want all 3 of them to yourself, 600.
You should make Artemis your little bitch. He's a good milk cow. Yes. Yeah.
But that just sounds mean.
Yeah, but he likes to be humiliated. He enjoys it.
He enjoys it.
Whisper Pay Pig gently into the microphone when he's nearby. Why you hating? Says Arch, look up what's going on Bangladesh right now. Oh god. All right.
I don't know what's going on in Bangladesh, but I know the Haitian prime minister is trying to take Haiti back by kindly asking the gangs to surrender their guns.
Oh, it's just a little coup ongoing. That's not so bad. Oh yeah, that's fine. If the Bangladeshis want to argue about their country, that's okay. I was just worried that they'd started to, poke at India or something. Because, yeah. The Kashmir region is one of those less known hotspots in the world where basically India and their neighbors are constantly looking at each other with nuclear weapons. Unfortunate. And also Witcher for my last super chat as well for a total of $15. And happy birthday to our favorite co-host, the Latinx Columbarian Fish Tortilla. Hail Arch, our Lord and Savior.
Thank you.
Note that down. And last final one. Marksman of 117B, Metro 2033 Fund. Count me in? Count me in. Help me. Maybe. I did not mind Metro. It was a pretty good game. So maybe. I'll put it on the potential list. I already sent off a whole horde of orders to my artist, so he's busy for quite some time now, I think. See, that's the best part about being a YouTuber. You get to send messages to artists and be like, draw me in a Kriegsmarine uniform petting a cat girl, please. Yes. And not feel bad about it. It's like, it's part of my work. Oh, God. I swear. Okay. So I have an accountant. I had to explain to them what I was doing, and I had to show them my YouTube channel. And right there is a picture of me, but as a blonde woman with giant tits. And it's like, yep, that's my living.
Is it the one where she's fondling her breasts?
Oh, Megalore, yes. See, I tried to do like, oh yes, I did this warfare, like theorizing the trench war would be the natural strategy in the Third World War, or this one, where we talk about no politics and Helldivers, and right next to it is just Megalore. And some random stream, they're like, is that what you make? Like, yeah, I guess. God, why must normies know what people are doing for their lives? Very happy my parents have no idea how the internet functions. And last, Euphoria's Omegon tipped $1. Okay, where get Lumi Standy, or however you spell it?
On here, I will drop the link to my little merch page. So for whoever's interested, here you go. They're cheaper than most VTuber merch because, like, seriously, $70 for like a single standee is kind of insane. But I got a little bit of merch. I want to start selling more and stuff. Once I see some sales on these, then I might start doing titty mouse pads, dakimakuras. Those would be fun.
Definitely. I'm sure you'll have loads of links and stuff over in your stream, which we'll be going over to in a second if people would start fucking donating. Artemis Fowl. Lumi is my favorite femoid Southern Californian Latinx.
I'm in the Midwest, but thank you.
And Black 1917 has been a member for 19 months. Hail Archchrist, our Lord and Savior. And hi, Lumi.
Hello.
And now we are finally at an end. So thank you, everyone, so much for watching, for hanging out today, for all your super generous donations, of course. And we will be raiding into Lumi's birthday stream, which will be starting in... how long?
Well, I kept extending the time since we kept talking.
Ah. So
Originally,
soon.
it was supposed to be 7 o'clock.
So soon, all right.
I'm going to be hitting the go live button here. It will be on my starting soon screen so I can quick take a pee and then I'll start.
Ah. You forced me to ask. Why would you deny your chat this content?
No! I am not peeing live on stream.
Chat. Remember, it's legal to bully somebody that isn't Arch. This is one way you could do it. Sentinel Rex, my 64-year-old Mexican father who does not know how the internet works discovered cartoon porn for the first time. Shocked him. Have a good night, chat, and go enjoy Lumi's. I really want to say it, but I'm gonna refrain. I'm not gonna go there. It's too far. It's too deep. It's too much. Have a good night, chat.
Good night, guys.